Yo, 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 welcome to another episode of the Culture Controversial Podcast. I'm your host, Simply Nicholas 87, and my co-host with me, D Ron and T Hard. What's going on, fellas?
Hey man, what's good with you?
And for all the new people out there that's been watching these videos that hadn't subscribed to the channel, y'all go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit the like button. Let's get these videos up to get a couple likes on these videos, guys. We're trying to make some moves in the YouTube algorithm out here. Um, but anyway, I'm gonna get into today's topic. But before that, because we didn't get about last week. We did talk about this 2 weeks ago. So I know Tyrell knows about the Bobby
Y-
Bowser.
Yeah, Florida State, man. Man, Bobby. Where do I start with Bobby Bowden? Not only when you think of Florida State football, but before Clemson and Dabo Sweeney became powerhouse, when you think of Bobby Bowden, he was synonymous with ACC football for many many years from 1991 up and throughout the duration of the time that Bobby coached the ACC. At once upon a time, anytime you saw the ACC or thought of the ACC, the program that came to mind was Florida State, and that's because of Bobby Bowden. Many big time football players came out of Florida State. They played under Coach Bowden. It's very very sad. Even Coach Bowden coached. He was about 81 years old, even up to 2010 before Jimbo Fisher took over. And without Bobby Bowden, as far as national championships and stuff that are even associated with the ACC when it comes to football, they wouldn't be there. So before you had your Clemson, who used to be coached by Tommy Bowden, his son, before Clemson emerged as this national powerhouse, Florida State held down the flag for the ACC for many years, and it was because of Florida State. So the legacy of Bobby Bowden will live on forever.
Hey man, great coach. Coach probably some of the best talents that came through the NFL. If I'm not mistaken, you had your Derek Brookses, your Deion Sanders, your
Yeah,
Charlie Ward, your
yeah. With Charlie
yeah.
Ward played in the NBA, but still was a Heisman Trophy winning
He's still, yeah, still. I
yeah,
mean,
yeah. Even guys like Peter Ward, who didn't necessarily pan out in the NFL, but Peter Ward, who was a great player for Florida
yeah,
State as well. So another Heisman Trophy winner, Chris Winkie, who's played for
Yeah,
Carolina
the
Panthers.
Panthers.
A
Yeah.
lot of great players who came under Coach Bowden. Again, when you think of not only Florida State football, but when you think of ACC football, that's synonymous with Florida State because they held it down for many years before Clemson took that flag.
you're right. Absolutely right on that. So let's get into today's topic. I want to get into like a preview of the high school season all over the state. Teams in general that we're on the lookout and teams that are probably predominantly powerhouses going into this season anyway. Regardless, uh, I seen a list and some of the teams on there I don't know if they actually would be powerhouses. Something like a preseason poll, sort of say. But I'll go start. It's only 20 teams, so we can start at 20 and make our way up.
All right.
All right, starting at number 20, you got our neighbors next door, the Richmond Senior Raiders, who are
Uh,
ranked 20th coming in. Used to be a former powerhouse somewhat. Now they're kind of like on that edge of. Nah.
they're still a powerhouse, but I'll get into that in a minute.
Okay, but
All right. Question: that poll that you're looking at, is that poll separated by classification, or is just a poll of all the teams in general?
all the teams pretty much in the state. It's not even like 1, 2, 3A, but I mean we can go through it because it's
Well, no, it's
actually
fine. As far as Richmond Senior, now they lost quite a bit. They lost Caleb Hood. They lost Stroman. They lost. They had three D1 players. Another D1 player, I think they lost. And with any other programs that make excuses will sit there and cry. We lost this. We lost that. We graduated these amount of seniors. But no matter how much I hate their guts, they are still Richmond Senior, and they are still going to have one hell of a program. So, are they going to be as good as they were the last fall that we saw them? Maybe not, but they're
not
going to be
no.
good. And if you plan on winning a 4A state championship, there's a
Gotta
good
go.
chance. There's a good chance that if you get to the state championship game, that you beat Richmond Senior on the way to get there. And no matter who they lost, I think Coach Brian Teal is going to have the team ready. And I think the Richmond Senior High School is probably going to win their conference. They're in a new conference this year. They're in their conference. You got they're in a 4A 3A split conference. So the 4A teams, I believe, are Richmond Senior. I believe Hope County, maybe Purnell Sweat, something like that. There's 3 4A teams in there, and then the 3A teams in that conference are Lee County, Southern Lee, Scotland County, and maybe Union Pines. Okay, the 4A schools are Richmond Senior, Pinecrest, and I think Hope County. Mm-hmm. And the 3A schools are Scotland County, Lee County, Southern Lee, and Union Pines. So then a 4A.
This is Scotland's first year dropping down 3A, or they were 3A last year?
This is the first year in 3A because this year is the first year of the new realignment. So so I expect Richmond Senior to win that conference. I definitely expect them to win the 4A side of that conference, and I expect there's no 4AA and 4A this year, just 1A, 2A, 3A, 4A as far as playoffs concerned.
Thank God.
So I put it like this: if you come out of the West to represent Class 4A in the state championship game, there's a good chance that on the way there that you beat Richmond Senior. I expect Richmond Senior to contend. I don't think they're going to win it all, but I think they're going to be very good. Despite who they lost, they are still Richmond Senior. So that's my take on them.
All right.
I would say with Richmond, as long as I've been on Earth, they always put the top of football in North Carolina. That is hands down, So, that's one team in the state you will never count out being there at the end. You, like I said earlier, T. That's one team you always got to run through to get to the big dance, in the state. So,
you're right about that.
One of the big teams. So they always prepare. I can't even remember if Richmond ever having a losing season since I've been on Earth either. So that's another thing. So
I don't think Richmond ever had a season under 500 probably a long time. Yeah. Honestly,
I put like this: if they have, it hasn't been within the last 30 years.
Yeah, now I'm about to say, I think the last time they actually lost more than 2 games was probably like 98, 99. If
no, that's not true. The last time they lost, I'm going to tell you when, and I'm not looking it up. I just know the last time they lost more than 2 games was in 2008. They went 7-3-1. But guess what? Okay. They still won the 4AA championship that year. Actually, that year they beat us, Anson Senior. They beat us 21-14 that year. That was actually one of the years that we had a good game with them. They beat us 21-14 that year. We had a good. I know this is not about Anson, but we went on to lose to Kings in the third round of the 3AA playoffs that year. So we had a good team that year too. That year we had a dogfight in Rockingham with them. Lost the game 21-14. But that year Richmond Senior went 7-3-1. First game of the season they tied with New Bern. Then they lost to Dudley out of Greensboro. Then they beat us 21-14. Then they went on a streak. And they ended up winning the state championship. They actually were playing against Jack Britton state championship game. They were down 35-17 with 6 minutes left. Darius Wiley, former South Carolina State quarterback Darius Wiley, rallied them back from 3 scores down in 6 minutes to win the state championship of Class 4AA in 2008. That might not be the last time they lost 3 games, but I remember they lost 3 games a year. I think another year, maybe like 3 or 4 years ago, they went like 8-3. But their losses were to teams like Butler and they lost
9 conference games basically.
Yeah, and I'm talking about it was against maybe like one of the top teams like around Fayetteville or Raleigh, like one of the I'm talking about state championship, like Wake Forest. Like Wake Forest was one of the losses. The other loss might have been to Butler or something. It was against teams that like, okay, you're not going to be hard on the board. But typically speaking, there was a 10-game season this year. I don't know who all they're playing, but I expect them to either go 10-0 or 9-1, something along those lines.
Okay, fair enough. All right, let's go to number 19. We got Dudley and Greensboro.
Powerhouse.
Powerhouse.
Dudley has won 3 AA championships before. They've won 4A championships. It doesn't matter what classification Dudley's in. I think Dudley's back up 4A this year. I think, but no matter how many A's besides Dudley's name, when you see them on Friday night, you know you got to be ready to go. Powerhouse out of Greensboro. Whether it's 4A, 3A, or whatever A is beside it. After one thing I noticed about Dudley is the day after Thanksgiving on Black Friday, they always have a game. The rule of thumb, and Anson used to be like that too, back when we were good. Rule of thumb is if year in and year out, you got a game on Black Friday, then you're a powerhouse. Every year, Dudley has a game the night after Thanksgiving. So if you're playing after Thanksgiving when it's cold outside, you're great.
Yeah,
and I expect Dudley to be in contention to play after Thanksgiving again. They have nothing but athletes there. Probably one of the most consistent programs out of Guilford County, out of Greensboro. So I don't know about who they got returning and none of that stuff. But one thing I know they're Dudley, and as long as they're Dudley, they'll be there.
Yeah, I ain't never known Dudley to have a bad season, honestly. Like, even with this, they are top 25 in the state with all probably 10 years on this chart, and number one 3 of the years they were number one in the state.
Yeah, Dudley always brings it.
Yeah,
I mean, they wanted the team. Like you said, you probably can name teams in North Carolina that always ring a bell. First one, even named Richmond. Dudley's probably one of the other ones for sure.
Yeah,
I agree.
That's 100%. That I can't even argue it. But let's go to 18. Our baby's way out on the ocean side, the New Bern Bears.
New Bern, traditionally, New Bern's a powerhouse. They've been, I think they're going down 3A this year. I think New Bern has
they got them 3A.
Yeah, they used to. Of course, they used to be 4A.
Yep.
Like out there in Craven County, like one thing New Bern and Havelock are gonna always be in it too. When it comes to East, Hanson County had battled New Bern and a battle Havelock before. So
we went to the Havelock game,
Yeah, you and I we rode that game together. Hanson and New Bern played each other in '95 too in the second round of the playoffs. Hanson lost. Hanson lost. That was Damian Bennett's last year. Hanson lost that game 20-14, unfortunately. That year, Hanson. I know this is not about Hanson, but I'm going to do it.
Hey, it's high school, man. We talk about anything high school. This all right.
Well, let me preface something. To all you listeners out there, I am biased towards Hanson County. I am biased towards Hanson Senior. I am biased. So anything that I talk about high school football, I'm somehow going to make it about Hanson County. So yes, I'm admitting I'm biased. I'm not neutral. I love Hanson Bearcats, and if I stop breathing right now, you can put me in an orange casket. That's how much I love Hanson Senior. So yes, I am biased. Now,
ain't lying.
So when Hanson's not playing, when Hanson gets eliminated, I don't even go to anybody's game because I don't care. So the only reason I'm talking about this now is because this is Nick's podcast and I support him. So I'm going to talk about these other teams I don't care about. Now, New Bern. New Bern is always the powerhouse. They've won some 4A state championships. They played against Independence back in the day. Some 4AA titles ended up coming up short. Traditionally they were one of those wishbone teams. Then later on they became a spread type team when they had Coach Chip Williams. Chip Williams ended up leaving New Bern. They kind of fell off after he left. He ended up leaving New Bern and going to Scotland County and won the lone state championship. They won in Scotland County. So Coach Chip Williams was the one who built that program. The program is kind of not where it used to be, but it's on the ascension. And I don't know if they're going to win a 3A state championship, but when it comes to the contenders in the East, I think they're going to slug it out right there in the East. Wouldn't surprise me if they're playing after Thanksgiving.
Cool.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, the first three is one of the ones that you hear constantly in the NC state football, playoffs for high school constantly. Like I said, Havelock, that's always been like a thorn in our behind for years when we have to face them in football. Newborn, I vaguely remember playing them back in the day, but you hear their name, especially on the east side of the state, constantly.
Right. All right, let's go to number 17, and they got listed. And I've never heard of this school, Wallace Rose Hill.
You've heard of Wallace Rose Hill? They in Wallace, North Carolina, out in the East. They used to them and Albemarle used to play in the state championship game. They used to be 1A. A 1AA school. I remember Albemarle used to be the breaks out in the championship game. I remember like in 2000. No, I remember like 2001. Them Albemarle played in the 1AA state championship. Albemarle beat them like 66-9, something like that.
It must have been TA. No, TA years. No.
Well, TA won the championship there, but this is like the year after TA left. This is when Albemarle was coached by the late great Jack Gaster. God rest his soul. He coached TA too, and I'm. Ralph Jackson, if you're listening, I know being a Stanley County man, I know you're familiar with late great coach Jack Gaster. He coached those Albemarle teams, but Wallace Rose Hill used to always. It was like a couple of years in a row they played Albemarle in the state championship game. Albemarle would always kill them, but just like when New Bern and Independence would play, you knew Independence was going to win, but New Bern was still going to be there. It's the same thing back like in the early 2000s. Wallace Rose Hill.
We got off the bus, but
I got a coworker who went to Wallace Rose Hill. My former coworker, Bernard Pratt. He's a Wallace Rose Hill alum. So 1A school, small school, maybe 2A by now, but back in the day they were 1A school. Small school, but amongst that class out in the East, they were always in competing for championships. They typically don't lose any more than a game a year. So I expect, who knows, they may be playing in the 1A championship game again this year. So if they are, don't be surprised. So I know that we don't necessarily keep up with the East like that, but I don't want to disrespect Wallace Field like that. They're our powerhouse, and they compete for championships year in and year out. So a lot of people on this side of the state may not be familiar with them, but they are the truth.
I might have seen them. I didn't. The name ain't. If I see the uniforms, I probably. Oh yeah, I do that.
Oh, my phone. I don't know if it's my phone or yours. Darren, did it sound clear on yours?
Yeah, everything sounds clear.
Okay, do I?
You sound clear.
Okay, cool. Then I ain't worried about it.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, I heard of them once or twice, but I wouldn't say they've been a power. I mean, again, like I said, 1A school is not necessarily. I mean, Albemarle is closer by, of course, but like far as year round, I never really heard until maybe they got to the playoffs. But I mean, I heard they definitely. I would say, from what I hear, they are definitely one of the more consistent 1A teams out there too.
Right. All right. We're going back to the 4A. At 16, this was shocking. Considering that they just won I think they just won a state championship. Zebulon beat Vance.
Yeah.
Well, let's pay homage to the parents who were kind of clear and not get native of Julius Chambers.
I think you chopped it.
Yeah.
Tyree chopped it.
Since been renamed. Huh?
You were chopping.
So what?
It froze up a little bit.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
What about now?
You're good.
Yeah.
All right. What I wanted to say with Vance, let's use the correct name now. The school has been renamed Julius Chambers High School. Just in case anybody don't know, Julius Chambers, former famous civil rights attorney here in Charlotte. He was originally from Mount Gilead, which is right down below Waysboro. After the controversy, not here to get into political and the historical elements of the Vance controversy, but after controversy and pressure to change the name, the school is no longer named Zebulon Vance, former conservative governor of the conservatives during the Civil War era in North Carolina. The school was renamed Julius L. Chambers High School. They're still the Cougars. They're now the Chambers Cougars instead of the Vance Cougars. But for them to be ranked that low, evidently, whoever comes up with these polls must feel like they've lost quite a bit, and they may have. But here's the thing: good programs rebuild, great programs reload. So one thing I don't like, and it's an excuse, and I get tired of hearing it. This is not a shot at any particular individual, but I get tired of when I hear people say, "Well, we lost a whole lot. We graduated a lot of seniors. We don't have this and that. All my best players are gone. This. I'm like, look, you got your guys 4 years at a time. Every program in high school football and secondary high school education, their players, no matter whether it's private school, public school, whatever, their players have 4 years of eligibility, and after 4 years, they graduate. So this is not college. You're not going on the recruiting trail. It's your job to develop your players. I feel like Julius Chambers will be competitive. They may not be where they beat Mallard Creek or win the state championship this year, but they will compete. I expect them to have a winning season. And as far as their ranking, at this point, I don't really see any problem with it. Evidently, they may be trying to say they lost a lot.
Possibly.
Yeah, I mean, they were the champs, but like I said, I'm not too familiar with the players anymore. But like I said, it's something there that makes them be ranked at the level they're ranked right now. So we'll see. I mean, good programs develop, like you said, from secondary education, or from middle schools up. We did it in Anson for years. We developed our middle school and junior high talent and
JV and all that.
To our high school. So, I mean, it's all depending on how their culture is at now. Chambers,
yeah. All right, going on. This list is out of this box list, but again, like I said, this list was made by some random A. I ain't gonna say that word, but number 15, Weddington.
The Weddington Warriors. Disclaimer: I hate the Weddington Warriors. I don't mind that being known. We played conference for many years. I don't like the Weddington Warriors.
They're different.
I'm not going to get into why because they can get misinterpreted and misunderstood. And I
understand you.
And I'm not going down that road. But they got some ballers. They used to have them a little Christian McCaffrey out there, but they had a few little Christian McCaffrey running around out there. I mean,
what was his name?
The Weddington Warriors. One thing about Weddington, even when Weddington didn't have great athletes, which they have some athletes. Which Shipley was an athlete. I want to make clear, Shipley is the real deal. He's committed to Clemson. He is the real deal. He's like a young Christian McCaffrey. Do not let his appearance fool you.
You're damn right. You better not.
Yeah, how about this? If you ever seen that movie about a man, so and so man can't jump. So don't think that so and so ain't fast just because he look like Christian McCaffrey. He's fast.
Because Sidney put him on his team for a reason.
Yeah, so Shipley can go, and when you see him at Clemson, whenever he hits the field, you're gonna see a little McCaffrey out there. Now, but back to it. One thing about Weddington, they're gonna, as long as they have the coach they have, they're gonna always be a contender. You know why? Even if they don't have the elite athletes, even if they lost the elite athlete, and they're not the team that's like when you see Weddington run out the tunnel, they're not the fastest guys in the world. They're not the most athletic guys in the world. But one thing about them, they're disciplined. The Weddington Warriors don't beat themselves. One thing about the guys, you don't see blown assignments. You don't see guys jumping on sides. You don't see unsportsmanlike conduct penalties. You don't see guys having false starts. You don't see long snappers snapping the ball above the punter's head. You don't see any, and they always have great kickers. They have kickers that make 50-yarders. That's something you don't really see in high school.
Well, for the fact that they got good kickers, they do have a state championship soccer program.
True. True. Now, to the point I'm making, all of those things I'm mentioning sound like little things, but when you add them all together, those things could be the difference between winning and losing ball games. And this is not a shot at anybody, but like even when I watch my Bearcats play, there have been so many times I've seen things like you first and goal from the 2-yard line, and a guy gets a false start. Now it's first and goal from the 7-yard line. Now you run the play. Now you get a holding penalty. That's 10 yards back. Now it's first and goal from the 17-yard line. Then the next down, you get sacked. Now it's second and 24, second and goal from the 24-yard line, and so on and so forth. And then you get to a fourth down situation. You don't have a true kicker. Now you have to go for it. Fourth and goal from the 13-yard line, and then you end up with nothing. That's the difference in ball game. Stuff like that's a possession where you should have had 7 points and you have nothing. With the Weddington Warriors, you don't see that. And
they're gonna do it.
Right, that's why they win so many games. And then when you added talent, when you actually had the talent to go with it, that's why you had like back-to-back state championship teams, 3 championships in 4 years. I don't care who they lost. They're going to be a good team because they're well coached, they're disciplined. The guys are always where they're supposed to be, when they're supposed to be there on the field, and you don't see guys blowing assignments because they're disciplined. If you want to see a disciplined football team, you go down to Weddington, North Carolina, in Western Union County, you watch the Weddington Warriors play football. You're not going to be blown away by athleticism, but you will be blown away by discipline.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, that's a program that, didn't exist when I was in school, came up because of the explosion of population in Union County, but also with that, it just became a staple where it's at. When you ride by Weddington, if you're familiar where it's at, that's a high school. They have that, essence of a high school. So they have very much pride, regardless of whatever sport they do. So with that being, with football, yeah, that too. I wasn't gonna harp on that, but we know right by you know already what they're about. They're about doing whatever it takes. in that sense. If it's a little bit of this right here, they gonna make it.
I'm not insinuating anything. I'm just saying they got plenty of it. That's all I'm saying.
They do definitely.
They got plenty of that. There's no argument with that part.
That's where Thomas Davis kids go. The last time Anson played at Weddington, Thomas Davis was at the game.
Yep.
So
what year?
Last year, it was like 5 years ago now. Like 2016. 2016. No. 2015 was the year I saw Thomas Davis there because it was their homecoming, and Thomas Davis was escorting his daughter at homecoming. And I'm Larry Harrell, Keith Harrell's brother, was sitting beside me. He yelled out TD. He threw up a deuce up to us, and I was like, man, that was cool.
My barber, Larry Harrell.
Shout out to Larry Harrell.
Larry Octavian was a good receiver too. Shout out to that.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go on to number 14. Got our buddies back up there in Gifford County, Greensboro Page.
The Page Pirates, Walter H. Page. Let me tell you, I'm going to make this about Anson again. My first memory of Walter H. Page was in 1999 when
playoff game.
Yeah, first round of playoffs. Big game, James Kirby and Brent the Bruiser Simpson ran all over them and beat them 28-7 at Bearcat Stadium. But Walter H. Page, they're always there. They won the state championship. They beat Butler in 2011 or 12, something like that. State championship. So I mean, Page, that's another Guilford County powerhouse. Been around for many years. Won state championships in the 80s and 70s too. So when you think of championship caliber football, that's synonymous with Page. So the Page Pirates, I have no problem with their ranking there because every year they're right there. They're in contention. So are they still 4A this year?
Yeah, 4A.
Yeah, and that's another program. No matter what the classification is, expect them to be there. That's another program. Black Friday, day after Thanksgiving. Don't be shocked.
Yeah, they're gonna be if they playing on Black Friday. Best believe they pretty good.
Especially if they put them in the East. They're one of those programs. Sometimes Greensboro the area that you can go East or West. So
that's what Anson is too. That's
Anson.
I wish they would go back East.
Anson went East back in the 2016 playoffs. So in the 2016 2AA playoffs, we went East.
That's what they went to.
And the year we played Havelock when we were still 3A, that was in the 3A East.
Yep.
Then of course, if we were 4A East, we played like New Bern and people like that. So we've gone East or West. And the way I look at it, if you're a championship caliber program, I don't care if you go East, West, North, South, Upper State, Lower State. It doesn't matter.
Uppercase, lowercase.
Well, I was talking about South Carolina. South Carolina, they do Upper State, Lower State. North Carolina, we do East and West. So
I think that playoff system. I know you know it better than me. I don't really understand it, honestly myself. I know they do it different than we do as far as they.
Well, it's slightly different. They started subdividing for a little bit because they didn't have as many teams. Because I know, the 4A, because what they used to do for the bigger, how we have 4AA. They had what they call the Big 16. So so for the 4A championship, you had the Big 16 and then 4A Division 2 for the playoffs. So the 4As was split up. The 3A state, it was just only one 3A championship. And then 2A, I think they just had one 2A championship. Then 1A, they did 1A Division 1 and 1A Division 2. So they had 6 champions. So 1A Division 1, 1A Division 2, 2A, 3A, 4A Division 2, and Big 16. Now
I know they got a couple of 5A schools down there.
Yeah, they brought 5A back. They used to do 5A before, so now you just have 5 champions: 5A, 4A, 3A, 2A, and 1A. So their conferences, they call them regions. So just like
region 5,
they're in region whatever. That's kind of how they do it.
They consider Lower State, ain't it?
Huh?
Well, they consider them low country. Well, low state, I think it's Upper State or Lower State.
I don't know.
I
when we used to play Pageland, I used to follow them a little bit just to see if Chesterfield and Pageland. When we were playing both of them, sometimes I would just, especially if we beat one of them, I would just follow just to see how they were doing in the playoffs. But
right.
Yeah, but it's still based on conference finish and all that kind of stuff. Just like it's similar to North Carolina. It just wasn't as convoluted. That was all. North Carolina's got watered down with our double classifications because they had you had 64, you had 32 teams in each classification. Even before the buys and stuff, I'm like, back then you had about 90 teams in each classification, It's 64 out of 90 teams to make the playoffs. That's 2/3 of your teams to make the playoffs. The playoffs are supposed to be something special. It's not supposed to be something that everybody gets. It's not Oprah giving away cards. You get a playoff berth. You get a playoff berth. The playoffs are supposed to be special, so it shouldn't be with 2/3 of it. And I know Anson benefited from that. We had some years of 4-7 and stuff. Let's make the playoffs. And guess what? We didn't deserve.
1 year went 2-9 and got in.
Yeah, I don't even want to talk about that.
You know what year that was, but
2002 and 2003. Fred Davis's last year, his first year. That was I know what happened that year and why it was like that. But I don't even want to talk about it because it's not worth talking about. I yield the floor to my man,
Darren. I'm gonna go back to '99 when we played
Greensboro Page. Yeah.
That was my senior year, 99, 2000. That was a long time ago. But
Cash Money taking over.
I just remember when right before we played them, they had projected us to lose to them. I mean, they were dominating up in Greensboro. I want to say they didn't even lose a game until we beat them that game.
Well, they were the 9 seed and we were the 8 seed, but back then, being the 8 seed, that's because we went 9-1 that year. Our only loss was to
was Richmond.
Richmond County.
Lost to them in a 29-21 dog fight.
You might have paid them off.
Over 10,000 people in the crowd.
I don't know about that one. That was kind of a.
I mean, we lost. I feel how I feel about the game. Never, a loss is a loss. We can go over what calls were made and all that. That's neither here nor there. We lost a knockdown, drag down fight with them. But back then, you didn't have double classification. So if you didn't win your conference, your seed was going to be lower. So Richmond Senior won the conference. Richmond that year, West Charlotte was number 1. I'm talking about the overall bracket. On the West Charlotte was number 1. Richmond Senior was number 2. I can't remember who was 3. I know we were 8. Page was 9. Because I remember Scotland County was 16th seed. Scotland County went like 8-2. I had to take 16.
We thought the next round was AC Reynolds.
Right? Yeah, I mean that.
No, we beat West Charlotte next. I can tell you, after we beat Page, we went to Memorial in Uptown Charlotte and beat number 1 seed undefeated West Charlotte Lions. And then the next week, and then the next week we lost to AC. We lost to AC Reynolds 17-0. But we paid their butts back the next year in the third round game. We beat them 28-0 the next year.
Yeah.
But I didn't mean to take up your time, man. But sorry.
Go ahead.
It's one of the years. That's those years. I'm just trying to think of the best years of Anson football that I can remember. It's probably from that year.
Well, you're older than me, so you probably take it back a little further.
No, I mean, I wasn't there. I mean, to actually be in essence of it. I mean, like the 3 year.
Well, 93 they were on probation because the semester happened in 92. But
yeah, those years were.
You can say the Carlos Smith Bernard Henry run from God rest Carlos Smith soul too. From you could say from 92 to 95 they had some squads like the Damian Bennett years and even after Bernard and them left in 95, the year they lost New Bern, they were good too. They went 8-2. It's just that back then the playoff structure was so tough. Going 8-2, you might have to go on the road for the first game. Whereas now, if you go 8-2, you might be number 1 seed. So I mean, we had a great team that year too. Then 96, they kind of fell off a little bit. They went 5-5. And see, back then 5-5 was considered when we didn't have nothing. So I said I can live with that. That was 5-5 was considered just like, oh my God, what happened? This is terrible. Oh no. And then 96 they went something like 6-4 but didn't make playoffs. But those were considered your down years then. Now sometimes we just pray for years like that.
Times
like this.
Oh man, they're doing all right.
But and then in 98, I think they struggled again. No, 96, I think they made playoffs. They didn't make it 96. 97, they might have snuck in. 98, they didn't make it. They went like 5-5. And then 99, that's when they woke back up. 2000 was good. 2001 was so-so. And then, of course, we had the down years. As far as the teams that I witnessed, I'm not talking about ever. We know about 92, 93, 94, 95. But as far as the years that I witnessed, 99, 2000, 2006, 2007, 2008, 2009. Man, I don't know if you were around when Coach Tim McMahon was coaching the team, but that 2008 Anson team
it was tough. That was state championship team all day long.
That's what I'm getting ready to say. That team, and I'm not going to get into what happened at Kings Mountain in the third round game, but my point is, offensively, that team could score with anybody. And I mean anybody, Butler, Malik Creek, or whoever wanted to smoke that year. I didn't care what classification they were in. I didn't care if you put them up against South Lake Carolina, Texas. I thought they could have scored against anybody. When you had Patrick Pope, Jordan Hildreth in that backfield, DJ Ellerby in that backfield, Jamie Bennett, my church mate Jamie Bennett, in that backfield, Rashawn Rory on one side. I'm trying to think who's the other receiver beside Rashawn.
X-Rail.
He was gone in 08. He was there in 07. You're talking Marshall X-Rail Little. I call him Marshall X. That 07 team was good too, but that 08 team, God, who was the there was somebody that was on the other side of Rashawn. I can't think of who it is. If you're listening, man, I don't mean no disrespect. I just can't remember who you are.
What up, baby?
And on the defensively, man, you were loaded. You had Doug Lilly. You had Stephon Anthony. You had Marcus Smith. You had Trey Thomas.
Trey Milton.
Trey Milton played center. You had DJ Ellerby was playing defense, playing corner. Dante Fordham.
Yep.
Dijon Austin. Brandon Ellerby. Man, that team had 4 D1 players. Let me see. Let me name them. Get the D1. Of course, Stephon Anthony. We all know who he is. I'm going to send him an invite to our podcast too. Maybe one day we can get him on.
I talked to him not too long ago. I sent him a message. He's seen it. I don't know if he ain't wrote back yet, but he's seen it.
It's all good. I mean, you did what you had to do. Hey, Stephon, man, you're a local hero, man. Come on and talk to us. Come and talk to us. We really want to meet you. Man. Yeah, come on, Steph. So Stephon Anthony, Doug Lilly didn't play college ball, but Baylor University wanted him. I'm not going to get into anything, but he's a phenomenal athlete, and Baylor University was interested. Unfortunate that he didn't go play for Baylor, but they wanted him. They had an offer on the table for him. But Marcus Smith, we know he played for Texas Tech. Yeah. Out of the Big 12. We know Brandon Ellerby played in North Carolina. So and Trey Thomas played at Clemson before he transferred to North Greenville. So we know that. So we named.
Jamie went 1AA. He was what? Didn't he go to Carson Newman? Something like that.
Yeah, Carson Newman's D2 though. But Rashawn played at Elon, which is FCS Division I. But I was talking about you talking about 4 guys who actually played: Trey Thomas, Stephon Anthony, Marcus Smith, and Brandon Ellerby. 4 D1 guys, legitimate D1 FBS Power 5, Power 6 conference players all on that one squad.
I think his brother could have went D1. I think his size was the only thing that kept him back. DJ, yeah.
Yeah,
I think his size was
absolutely. And Brandon, this is no diss to you, man, but DJ was the better player. And Brandon's a great player, but DJ was better. And I'm sure Brandon admit DJ is better. And I like you, Brandon. You're a good dude. Now Brandon Ellerby is one of the most down. No, this is not a diss to Brandon. Brandon's a great player. Brandon Ellerby this is not a diss. He's one of the most down to earth, humble guys you'll ever meet. Phenomenal athlete, class act. He represents Anson County well. I watched him at Carolina. He made me proud. And I want to make it known that Brandon Ellerby is a great, great football player. This is not a shot at Brandon Ellerby. I'm saying DJ's brother I thought was the better player, but DJ
good, man.
Yeah, and DJ but I think DJ's size is what hurt him. So Brandon, this is not me shooting at you, man. You're that dude, but your brother's that dude too. Is all I'm saying. And so that's no diss at all. I love Brandon Ellerby, and I think you were DJ Ellerby too. So. Yeah, but
I know that year in particular sent a lot of them kids, a lot of them boys play ball. Like not just D1, but majority outside of there.
Yeah, but Coach McMahon had the school was in better position then too. But Coach McMahon he had a squad, man. Tim McMahon. He was only here 2 years, won back-to-back conference titles, got the third round of playoffs back-to-back years. Then in 2009, after Hyatt took over, they did go to the 4th round of the regional championship and lost to South Point. That from 06 to 09, 06 we had Michael Bowman, Barkwell, and Trenton and all that. We had from 06, 07, 08, and 09, we had 4 straight years where we at least went to the 3rd round of the playoffs, including a regional championship game appearance. So that run during that time from Jody Grooms' last year, through McMahon's years, through Luke Hyatt's first year, that was a great run for Anson football. So all right, let's go.
And it's like we ain't played the teams that they played. They weren't pushover teams. Like
beat the bricks off Kannapolis that year and all that. But
yeah,
I know
gotta listen to. Don't give me if you get me started talking about Anson, we'll talk all night long. So
Hey, listen, man. Hey, we gonna talk, but you know, anything Anson pop up with any of these teams, you bring it up because a lot of teams.
I'm an Anson fan to the man upstairs calling me home. Just know that.
All right, well, we on 14. We on 13 now, right? 13.
Yeah, we paid for the last time you called.
Yeah.
Okay, so number 13, Anson played this team before in the playoffs. The good old boys from up there in Shelby, Chris.
Oh, yeah.
The Chris Chargers.
Yep.
Coached by Nick Ennis, who was from Casey Littlefield.
Yep.
Shout out to Coach Nick Ennis. You had an opportunity to come home. And by the way, I love Ralph Jackson. Was before Ralph came here. You had an opportunity to come home. You left West Montgomery. You went to Chris all the way to the Chargers. There's nothing to say about the Chris Chargers. We know who they are. We know what they do. By the way, for the record, last time Anson played Chris, second round of playoffs, 2010. Wait, 2009, second round of playoffs, beat them 10-3. Just so you know, they were led by quarterback Richard Wilkins, who went on to play at NC State. They came into Waynesboro and we beat them 10-3. So, in a defensive slugfest. As far as coaching, one of McMahon's best coach games because it was a defensive struggle. Couldn't get everything going on offense.
What school you played for?
It was a great managed game. Now, who do you play for, young man? Dillinger? What you laughing about?
I like that's my boy. That's my boy. I don't know what school. Who do you play for?
But Chris had some bombers, man, like Marte Wilson, Brandon Spikes, Travis Lee.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't think about Chris, but big time basketball player. They played.
We just mentioned his school not too long ago.
Page Pirates, man. We just talking about Page Pirates.
We got to talk about him, bro.
He's a Greensboro guy. So, and I know Chris beat Page because Chris had never lost to a team until like 2 years ago or something like that. So now the Chris Chargers, even when Coach Roy Kirby coached them, Coach Roy Kirby is a good friend of Coach Fred Davis. They had Powerhouse then. I think I know who Anson beat Chris in 2010. I mean, in 2009, 10-3 in the playoff game in the second round. But I think most of us, when we think about a second round playoff game against Chris, it takes us back to 2000 in that 20 to 17 overtime game. And I'll never forget watching the first conference on John 9 and to hear Coach Fred Davis. He said, "This game right here lets everybody in the state of North Carolina know that Anson captains in the premier programs." I'll never forget that. What you laughing at?
Because that's how he said it for real.
I'll never forget that.
He put Anson County on the map that night, didn't he?
Yeah, he did, man.
Yeah, so Anson played Chris a total of, let's see, we played him in the playoffs in 2000, regular season 01, playoffs in 01, regular season in 02, playoffs in
03.
We played him regular season 03.
That was the year they went 2 and something. They had to play Chris that year. That's the year they were like 2 and 9.
That was 02 regular season. So we played him in the playoffs. We played him in the playoffs in 2000. Played him twice in 01. Played him in the regular season 01, second game, and played him again in the playoffs. So that's 3 meetings. Then 02 played him in the regular season. That's 4 meetings. And then we didn't play him again until the 2009 playoffs. So Anson's played him 5 times, and we're 2 and 3 against him. So we beat him 20-17 in the playoff game in 2000, and we beat him 10-3 in the playoff game in 2009. The other times they beat the brakes off of us. And,
one of them games was a 30-point blowout, I think, if I ain't mistaken, like 55.
Well, I don't know. We forgot math. In 2001, regular season they beat us 56-13, and they beat us again in the playoffs that year 20-0. Then the next year they beat us 43-0, and we didn't win. And then we just hit again to 2009, and we got 10-3 in that playoff game. So now the Chris Chargers, they got banners on top of banners on top of banners, and so that's one of the other green and gold schools out there in Cleveland County near Boyle Springs. So
yes, sir.
that's probably one of the teams that out west, the Western North Carolina, is probably got their staple for sure.
Oh yeah, and then like I say, former New England Patriots or middle linebacker Brandon Spikes, next favorite team, former Florida Gator. He's a Chris Charger. So and the thing about it, they were just okay to hear Spikes, but they weren't even like all that in Spikes. That was like during some of their downtime games. So that lets you know the standards of that program. Great program. I expect them to be in the mix. I hope they do well because Coach Edens is an Anson County native, and I want to see him do well.
D? Oh, you got that's all you had.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I said, it's one of the programs again that rings its bell around North Carolina. I mean, you're gonna hear Chris every year.
They're the G. They got a C. They look like Green Bay.
Yeah, they showed them that C. I want to Dillinger say graduate 01. Dillinger, did you play that game in '99 against Anson County? Could that have been your junior year? Could that mean 2000 would be your senior year? Did you play that game at Anson 1999 in Williamsboro?
He said that
he would have graduated a year after I did. So that was definitely he would have been a junior that year.
Yeah, so he played in that game. But go ahead, Nick.
Okay. Let's see. We'll go to 13-12. We'll go to number 12. We're going back to the east side of the state. And them boys up there, they call the Vikings. Tarboro.
Todd Gurley went to Tarboro.
Yes, sir.
And
he said he played defense.
I know a young lady, a good friend of mine. Her son used to play like a West Craven or something like that. And they used to play against Tarboro. He's good friends with Gurley. Just when you speak someone like Gurley, you know that they produce athletes out there. They're I don't really just know much about it. I'm not that familiar with the program. What classification are they in?
They 1A.
Okay, that's not being funny, but that's probably why I don't know a lot about the program. I'm sure.
Yeah, they out east too. So
if you're producing a talent like that, despite being a small school, that means you're probably going to be a force to reckon with against the people that you're playing against. So I would expect them to keep if the pundits think they're that good. I don't expect them to let down. I expect them to be as good as they normally are. I don't really know a whole lot about them, but it's the fact that a guy like Todd Gurley, that's a household name. I know he played there, so I'm sure they didn't just stop some players out of him. So I expect them to probably be a contender.
True. D?
Yeah, pretty much. I heard their name a couple of times out from out east. Like I said, they're lower. They're 1-18, so they're not a big school, of course, but definitely probably produced a lot of talent. Especially, like I said, Gurley is one of the noticeable ones out of that program. So, yeah, I mean, they'll definitely be there.
Right.
in their conference for sure.
All right. So my thing was, I don't really know a lot about Tarboro, and I know that I feel like they are a powerhouse over on that side in the 1A. Last few years, probably before that, but like I said, he's a household name, Todd Gurley. Let's go to number 11. T, good?
I'm good. I'm just changing location.
Okay. We're gonna go to number 11. This team's out of Kernersville, and they are East Forsyth.
Glenn? Who?
East Forsyth.
Don't know nothing about him.
Nothing about them?
Never.
I know they played Richmond County a couple of years ago in the playoff game.
Yeah, they're 4A school.
They played Richmond County in the playoff game a couple of years ago.
He said we used to whoop everybody in the regular season, and then in the playoffs catch L's. Hey,
Dillinger, were y'all undefeated up until that point we played y'all that year in Anson?
they came out to the bird. Dillinger done been out of the way, bird boy. Done been out to the country.
Down them with them country boys.
Down in the country, boy. You played some good players now. I ain't gonna lie. You played James Kirby, Bruiser. You played against some good ones.
Kelvin Pratt and all them guys.
Kelvin Pratt, Antoine Mars.
Cannot forget him.
Yeah,
They thought the boy like from Florida, so they out there running barefooted.
yeah. Running 10,
boys
but
were
running 10
fast,
seconds
man.
and 100-meter dash.
Them boys were fast. I mean,
There
even
we go.
Mark Hammonds, our quarterback before he got hurt that year.
He broke his ankle. He broke his ankle at Scotland County.
I mean, if he could have stayed at quarterback, you could have had James Kirby and Lamont and Bruiser pretty much.
Probably he probably would have won a state championship if Hammond's not gotten hurt.
Oh yeah, definitely. That was if for sure. I mean, I always said that, if we had him at quarterback, we could have had those three guys utilizing. I mean, they would have confused the crap out of the defense.
On defense had Stewart.
You couldn't.
Yeah, we had some ballers, man.
Yeah,
Coach Fred Davis and Coach John Kreger, the guys like that, man.
Kreger in them shorts.
20-degree weather.
Hey, man, I will go out on a limb and say that John Kreger arguably was the greatest defense coordinator we ever had in Anson County.
Oh yeah.
All right, yeah. It'd be him.
He's still coaching. He's still actively coaching. I know he was when Grooms had him down to Georgia, and then when Jared Troxler took over, Troxler had him as his down there at school in Evans, Georgia. Troxler's in Ohio now, but when Troxler was in Georgia, he had John Kreger as his defense coordinator. We know Kreger worked at Pikeville for a little while, Pikeville College in Kentucky, NAIA school for a little while too, where he recruited some Anson players.
Yeah. I think what was I about to say? I just had the person's name on my tongue. You go ahead, I'll figure it out later. It slipped off my tongue.
Well, who's next on your list? Like Goldberg, who's next?
Yeah, who's next? I can't even think of it now. It slipped off my tongue. But I know we had Troxler. That's why I was Troxler. He had a powerhouse up there in Ohio, ain't he?
Yeah, but I don't know if he's the head coach or not. But I don't know if he's the coordinator or the head coach or what. I talked to Troxler.
He's a receiver coach.
I haven't had a conversation with Troxler. Last time I talked to him was just a tad over a year ago after I hate to bring this up, after we lost J.C. Coleman, former Anson running back. When he got wind of that, he reached out to me because he was devastated and hurt to hear that. And so he was talking about how that shocked him and how he loved J.C. Coleman and loved coaching him. And I haven't had a conversation with Troxler since then, but that was the last conversation that we had. Troxler was a good guy. And I'm glad that he's having success in his career. Young man originally from McBee, South Carolina, or as they say down there, McBee. They say McBee. That's what the people in Chesterfield County say. They say McBee.
Go down to McBee, get some peaches.
Yeah, but the thing is spelled McBee, McBee, but they say Chesterfield County people say McBee. So, but anyway, that's what he's from. So, good guy.
Yeah. Let's go to number 10. This is a pretty good one. Well, recently I put them up there. That's a good one. Number 10, the boy down in Laurinburg.
Scotland County.
Scotland County.
Scotland County is good, but they've underachieved to me the last couple of years. I know they the last fall season they made an unexpected run to a state championship game. They went 6-5 in the season, but got hot in the playoffs.
Okay.
Scotland County's been good, but I said the last 3 years or so, I thought they should have been better. I don't think they're crazy about the coach, Coach Bailey. I don't know if he left or not, but I know a lot of people aren't crazy about him down there. I think they feel like they're underachieving too. They're going down to Class 3A this year, and a lot of people think, just because you drop a class means it's going to be easier. That's not true. Last time I checked, 3A teams also have 11 guys on one side of the ball. I always tell people this. No matter how many A's beside your name, your opponent has 11 men on the field.
Yeah.
What people don't understand, if you jump off sides, it's still a 5-yard penalty no matter how many A's are beside your name. If you fumble the ball and the other team pick it up and run it back for a touchdown, they're still going to put 7 points on the board no matter how many A's are beside your name. I'm about to say, if you don't play quality football, you can be beaten no matter how many A's are beside your name. So, and that has nothing to do with how good you are, just how many students you have attending class. So the A's have nothing to do with the quality of the program. I think they're going to be good. They're not going to win their conference because Richmond Senior is going to win their conference. They're in a split conference. I can't even guarantee you they're going to win the 3A side of their conference because Lee County's in that conference too. So
Lee County. Didn't they win a state championship not too long ago?
They lost in the championship game. They screwed us out of a game when Anson played them up there a few years ago. I'm not even gonna get into that. I was at the game.
Yeah, I know.
They lost again 32-25. That was a big of a screw job as Montreal. But I'm not even gonna get into that. But after that, I felt like Bret Hart looking at Vince McMahon when I looked at that program after that game. Yeah, that was a screw job, and that because we had him in that D1 corner. They got that was like one of the number one corner in the state that went to Carolina. Man, Tyreek Harson torched that boy all night long.
Tyreek Harson torched a lot of people.
But this guy here was the number one corner in North Carolina, and committed to play at Carolina, 4.5, 5-star prospect. And Tyreek Harson, he didn't want none. That's why they took the rain delay and came back that Monday. He didn't want none. He wanted that smoke. I want to make it clear. If you look up that cornerback that played Lee County, who committed to North Carolina, he was the number one corner in the state of North Carolina, 5-star prospect. The whole world go find the tape of Tyreek Harson against him. You won't see that tape in his recruiting film because Tyreek Harson took him to the woodshed. That's what he did to him. So for those of you listening, that corner, who was the number one corner in North Carolina, Tyreek Harson torched him. You will not see that in any of his recruiting film.
You better thank the Lord and Mother Nature for that delay.
Yeah, sure. I drove all the way to Sanford for that. To that game, but from Charlotte to Sanford. Yeah, I drove from Charlotte to Sanford for that game. But I don't even want to know. Lee didn't win the state championship that year, but they got to the championship game. And Lee County's head coach, I don't care who's watching this. If you're still the head coach there, I have zero respect for you. You're a man of no valor. You have no guts, and you don't deserve to be respected. And I say that personally. And anybody who's there at Sanford knows why I don't respect that man. I don't care if anyone sends this to him or send him a subscription to the podcast. I want that joker to know that I do not respect him. Ralph can't say that because I understand Ralph is diplomatic, but I ain't. But I don't have anything that's keeping me from saying that. So if someone could look up the head coach at Lee Senior High School, the guy who was there in 2019, I want someone to forward this to him and let him know that he is a coward, he is gutless, and he has no valor, and I have zero respect for him.
Dylan said facts. I think our issue was in 4A, the Richmond counties, Shelby Chris, and Kannapolis Brown used to dominate.
Yeah, Kannapolis power. Hey, to beat a man, what you got to do?
Beat man.
All right. No matter what classification you're in, they're going to be top dogs. If you go down to 2A, you're going to have the Shelby Golden Lions and people like that to deal with. If you go down to 1A, you're going to have your Wallace Rose Hills and stuff to deal with. No matter what class, back in the day, you would have your Albemarle Bulldogs to deal with. No matter what classification you're in, you got to beat the best of who's in there. Or no matter how many A's inside. If they do a 10A, then whoever the top 10A schools are, you got to go through them.
See what that look like.
So the thing is, winners win. And the thing about it, if you're going to be the best, if you're going to put one of these on, and I ain't talking about the husband and wife, if you're going to put one of these on, that means you're going to have to beat good teams. That's just the way it is.
My dude that went Anson County did, a guy named Wesley Fulmore.
Nah, I don't know him. You know him, Nick?
No, I don't know him.
Darren, you know him?
No.
I don't know Wesley Fulmore. I don't know any Fulmores, period.
I don't know him.
I'm sure he's a great guy, though.
Yeah. Let's go to number 9. So we done left Laurinburg. Let's take a trip back to Greensboro for this 3A powerhouse, Northern Guilford.
The Northern Guilford Nighthawks. I've been to Northern Guilford before. Darren, you remember Keenan Allen, wide receiver for the San Diego Chargers? I mean, the Los Angeles Chargers.
Yeah.
You know where he played his high school. You know where he played his high school ball, right?
Yeah, I remember.
The Northern Guilford. He was a running back, wide receiver, safety.
He played
return, punt return.
Shout out to Pookie.
I will go on record to say that Keenan Allen is the best high school football player I've ever seen in person, and that's including Chris Lee. I'll say it again. Keenan Allen is the best high school football player I've ever witnessed. And he played.
Agree with that. That's like a 1A, 1B. I can agree with it.
Keenan Allen played for the Northern Guilford Nighthawks. They were number 1 seed in 2009 playoffs when they were like surefire bet to go to the 3AA championship game. They had a 3rd round game the day after Thanksgiving against the number 12 seed. No way do you think Northern Guilford would lose to a 12 seed in the playoffs. Little did they know that Coach McMahon and them boys in orange, they weren't an ordinary 12 seed.
We can't forbid that 12 don't mean nothing.
They didn't know.
They
had an NFL player on their team, but they didn't know that we had one on ours too. They didn't know. Mr. Anthony, we're gassing you up, Mr. Anthony. You gotta come on the show, Mr. Anthony. That game, I'm gonna tell you why we won that game. We won that game because our NFL player did not let his team lose. We had Stephon Anthony let him know that you ain't the only person that's on the way to the NFL. He let you know I'm coming too. You know, in the old Negro spiritual, they say, if you get there before I do, coming forth to carry me home, tell all my friends I'm a coming too. And so Stephon let him know. He got to the NFL year before Stephon, but Stephon told him, if you get there before I do, tell the NFL I'm a coming too. And
he was at Grams before Northern, I think.
And they put Stephon at running back in that game. This is the play of the game. And Nick, were you at that game in Northern Guilford?
Yep.
I was the play of the game. I never forget this. It was like on a 3rd and 1. We were at the time up like 27-26. It was a seesaw game. And it was like I was like, he got the first down. They just at the second half of the game, they just handed the ball to Stephon almost every time. Just like big man takes it. He and Jordan Hill. Yeah, they did the Keyshawn Johnson. Give me they gave him the ball, and at that time I was like, give Stephon Anthony the ball and get out of his way. Either block for him, get out of his way. I never forget on the 3rd and 1. We were just trying to just grind it and keep the ball. And I remember I was like, he got a first down. I was like, good, he got the first down. And it was like a gang tackle. You know how you have a big pile up? But I never heard the whistle blow, but I was like, okay, let's get ready for got the first down. Let's get ready for a first down play. Next thing you know, I see that pile collapse, and I see that big joker all the way down the field, and I see the referee hold the hands up. I'm like, oh, shit, he broke loose. Touchdown.
Yeah, you tackle him, you a goddamn man.
And that put us up. That put us up 34-20. Those missed extra points and stuff came back to matter in the game. That put us up 34-26. Mr. Allen had an answer. He came right back down like 3-4 plays later. Boom, touchdown. 34-32. But hey, they had to go for 2. Yeah, they went for 2. The quarterback, who's also like a D1, like 2-star D1 quarterback, he tried to hit his tight end in the back of the end zone, but it got intercepted by Stephon Anthony. He got that ball back. Just needed to get a first down. Got that first down. As Chris Bremer say, tick, 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 tick. And we won the game 34-32. We upset Northern Guilford Nighthawks. Northern Guilford, they've been accused of doing independence type things. They used to be considered like the Independence of Greensboro, getting players from everywhere in Guilford County to play for them.
But I mean, at the time though, that wasn't really like illegal though. Like it wasn't a problem. Like it wasn't like because they didn't have all these zones and stuff. Like you just go to school wherever.
I don't know how Guilford County is drawn up, but Keenan Allen only played 1 year at Northern Guilford. He played for Grimsley. He played his first 3 years at Grimsley. The quarterback played at start off at Grimsley because you know Zach Maynard. He's played quarterback for California Golden Bears. That's Keenan Allen's brother. One of them black and the other white. Don't ask me no questions, but they're brothers. And it's I guess it's like the Dudley boys. But no. No, they really are brothers though. I did some research to try to figure it out because I was just being nosy. And they have
sometimes you got to know, man. You're curious, man.
Okay, so this is gonna weird you out. I know we're talking, but I gotta give you the story. They have the same mother. Okay, so that makes sense. The same woman gave birth to them. So Keenan Allen and Zach Maynard have the same mother. Zach Maynard played at Grimsley as well. All right. Obviously, you can look at them and tell they have different fathers. I mean, one of them's father looked more like us. But anyway, so they got different fathers. Now, Zach Maynard. Zach Maynard is older than Keenan Allen. This is an important fact. Zach Maynard is older than Keenan Allen. Remember that.
Okay.
Their mother is married to Zach Maynard's dad.
Wait, hold up.
I mean,
rewind that part again.
Self-explanatory.
Okay. Their mother
Zach Maynard's dad is the husband of the mother. So like her oldest son's father is her husband, but she also has another son, a younger son, who's African American.
Damn. I be.
I don't know exactly what happened. I don't know if somebody went on break. I don't know any of that. All I know is
she started that term then.
I'm just stating the factual information. They are brothers. They have the same. they have the same mother, and the mother is married to the older child's father, but yet the younger child doesn't have the same father. That's just factual information. That's not me judging anyone.
No, I get you. I get it. Like
that was just one of those things that were like, all right.
Yeah.
I looked it up. But anyway, but Northern Guilford, I'm sure Northern Guilford's gonna be good.
God bless Northern Guilford and that family. Somebody's family. Anybody's family.
We
all right, what number we was at? 9. Let's go to 8.
Ocho.
Coming all the way from the east side of the state again. Another 3A powerhouse, Havelock.
The Havelock Rams. Farrell Cooper played Havelock. They beat the rest of us that night.
He said he ain't lying.
Man, this is the second round playoff game in 2013. We left the game in the third quarter, man. We're down 47-7. I said, let's get on out here, man. It's gonna take us 4 hours to get home.
Yeah, that was a good little ride. I mean, it was a good see stuff. Got to move for a while though.
It was 4 hours from Waynesboro, so but 5 hours from Charlotte. But I stopped at Waynesboro to pick Nick up on the way out there, and it took us 4 more hours after I got to Waynesboro. So man, the sun was shining when we left Waynesboro, but dark when we got there. So,
And the weird thing, it wasn't even cold. Nice and calm.
we left Waynesboro at 2 p.m. It was pitch black dark when we got there.
We got to have like about 6:40, 6:30, 6:45.
Yeah, like Darren, if you'd have left to go to Atlanta, you'd get to Atlanta just as quick as we got Havelock. Havelock is 238 miles from Waynesboro, which is the same distance as Atlanta is from Charlotte. So,
Yo, Mr. Darryl. Let better.
what's up, Darryl?
Darryl in the building.
Yes, sir. The former football player himself.
Yep. Darryl played. They probably played when Darryl got out before they played Page. And
I'll say he got out. He went to prison.
no, you know what I mean. You're not in prison. You won't lock, dude.
He got out. He came home. I can do this.
Hey, look. Oh man.
we're getting all over the place on these things, man.
But Havelock, yeah, I remember we went out there. It was a good little ride. Like Tyrell said, we left Waynesboro. The sun was out. We got to Havelock in pitch black.
Yeah, we stopped at 8 Subway when we got there. Yeah, you run with me. Man, on the way back, man, I was like, gosh, I was trying not to fall asleep, and I kept saying, Nick, talk to me. Don't let me
I was tired, boy. I think I made it all the way till we got close to Lawrenceburg.
You fell asleep when we got like the Fayetteville.
Yeah, that was a long.
Man,
we went to a stretch out there. It won't
no like swamp and stuff, man. We like going through Sampson County. We rode through like Mount Olive, we rode through Kingston and all that. Man, it was like we rode through all
roads.
Yeah. It was like 70 something. I forgot the name of that road. 701.
Highway 70. Yeah.
It might have been. Yeah. Man,
long dark.
Man, you want to get a flat tire out there, man. Run out against something.
Yeah, I got one of my coworkers. He tell me about like 70 ain't up, but like trees and highway. It's like you get out there like to Kinston. It's probably another 30-40 minutes before you get to another town or something like that.
Yeah, was about
real. Yeah, you don't want to get no flat tire out there.
Oh no,
real new. Especially the time we coming back that night. I was just like, man, we get back Waynesboro, but we had a ride.
All right. For the record, folks, I'm sneezing, and I'm gonna show you a practice that I do every time I sneeze to protect ourselves in the pandemic. Watch this.
Show me something.
I'm about to show you something.
Yeah. There you go. But check Josh Seals, man. Check Josh Seals. That's all you can do out here.
Man, it's cool. It's rough out there.
Yeah, Havelock though. Now the guy that we talked to, I don't know. Did you go with that guy we talked? Now you probably we went to go get something to eat, and there was a guy. I think he coached middle school, and he was telling us how Havelock builds their teams up from 6th grade, and they run that same.
I was staying with
Yeah.
That was when I first got into the stadium. I did go get something to eat, but I'm talking about weird.
Yeah.
I was standing with you on.
Yeah, the guy was like.
He was talking about New Bern and all that, because New Bern's right down the road. He was talking about the rivalry with them and all that.
Yeah. He's like, yeah, we train these guys all the way up from, I think it's like, they start from middle school, and they just run that same system. So by the time they get to high school, it's just.
It's like Real Davis, the Raiders used to try to make a commitment to excellence.
Yeah.
Yes, commitment to excellence.
Yeah, they got a program now. And they've won most of the state championships. Let's not get that twisted.
Yeah, but it takes discipline from the kids for it to happen. There's only so much you coach can do. But at the same time, the kids have to learn it. They have to put the effort and time, have the discipline to do it. And if you let the kids buy in and put in that time and effort, all great things will happen.
Right. He said, I used to work out there. You're right. He was out there Guantanamo Bay. Oh man. Yeah. Let's go to the next one. Who we got? What we got? Number 7. Them boys up there in Shelby. Golden Lions. Yep. Yep. I think your phone getting choppy again. I think your phone got choppy right there. You got a microphone or something? Or the microphone? Man, it sounds like it's like echoing.
Yeah, you can't. Like it's faint.
Yeah, like real faint. Still faint. Sound like a robot. Shout out to that new Donna album Kanye with. You still sound choppy.
Oh, well, Darryl, you go first, and then let's see if I can get myself together.
Oh yeah,
Okay,
you go ahead and go. You back now though, but
well, then I'm taking my time back. You gonna stay right there. The Golden Lions are a powerhouse. All they do is win. If you're gonna plan on coming out the West in 2A, you're gonna have to beat the Golden Lions. Now you can have it.
I mean, pretty much said, it's one of those teams. I mean, shout out to Cleveland County. I mean, some powerhouses.
Burns, Chris.
I mean, any team in that state, county, I mean, is a force. So, I mean, it's self-explanatory. Cleveland County is probably one of the counties that has not only one but 2-3 teams with the population that is dominant. I mean, Cleveland County is not what you call. I mean, it's a fairly sized county, but it's nothing like Gastonia and like a Cabarrus or a.
And all 3 of the programs won state championships. Burns, and Kings Mountain's good too. I'm trying to think Kings Mountain back in the late '90s, '98 and stuff like that. They were dominant. I know Burns won a state championship. We know Chris won multiple. We know Shelby's won multiple. I'm not sure Kings Mountain won one, but Kings Mountain have always been in the hunt for it.
Yeah.
He said he still got the game ball from the 2000-2001 Chris game.
Yeah. Was he here when I did the Fred Davis interview? I mean,
he wasn't here. Hey, Darryl, listen to this. This is Fred Davis.
Just after he gave Darryl the ball, he said, after this. Oh, this
you still here?
Okay. He's like, after this victory, just let everyone in the state of North Carolina know the Lansing County is one of the premier football programs.
Especially what he said. Oh, hey, his name was it.
That's the day Anson County came on the map.
CM said F. Londale.
Said Mike. Oh, I mean, whoa, CM Punk.
Yeah, CM Punk.
Lawndale and Falston and all that area.
That's it.
Man, we got some good food up there in Falston on the way to Lawndale. At this old gas station that sell tater wedges and chicken and all. So one of them old gas stations where you get that heart attack food, man, that stuff was good as you know what.
That's the best food to get.
Man, like that one in Fulton.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. The best tater wedges ever.
Yeah, take your what's called blood pressure pill when you get out of that joker, boy.
Man, they got good chicken, good pork chops.
On some other stuff. Am I sound like a robot again? Because now y'all sound like robots.
Nah, I'm good.
Can you hear me?
All right, that's cool. As long as y'all can understand me, I can make out what y'all saying.
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, cool.
Where we at? Okay. Let's go to the next team. I think we was on number, what was it? 6, 7?
We're 6 now.
Who?
Should be.
We're on number 6. Okay.
Yeah.
The next team would be Wake Forest.
Oh, 4AA powerhouse. Just a couple of years ago, they won the state championship. They whooped Richmond County in the regular season game. I think my cousin Mario teaches at Wake Forest. I think he used to teach at Knightdale, but I think he's at Wake Forest now. But yeah, they dominant program. They're in the same vein as Vance / Julius Chambers, Butler or Mallet Creek. They're like the Mallet Creek they're the Mallet Creek Vance of Raleigh. Pretty much. This has nothing to do with anything, but fun fact, Wake Forest University was originally founded in Wake Forest, North Carolina, hence the name Wake Forest University. They later on relocated to Winston-Salem and just kept the Wake Forest name. So that, for anybody wondering how the name Wake Forest came along for the Demon Deacons, they originally were located in Wake Forest, North Carolina, hence the name Wake Forest University.
Wow.
Bless their hearts.
And Duke University was originally founded in Trinity, North Carolina, right outside of High Point. And I'm sure the guy from Page is familiar with that. Trinity Middle School, the present day Trinity Middle School, right off of Highway 68, off of Highway 62, is the original campus of Duke University.
Oh, okay. They got the original they stuff still out there, and
I ain't drove out on it, but when you pass by it, there's like a historical marker that says like Trinity Middle School is the original. That building is that campus is the original Duke University.
Okay.
So yeah.
So number 5, we got David W. Buck.
Matthews.
They're
good. They're not as good as they used to be.
Yeah.
They're not as good as they were when Coach Mike Newsom coached them. And you know why I mentioned Mike Newsom? Because you know I got to tie it into Anson County. Just for those out there, Mike Newsom, the 2-time state championship winner at Butler and the current head coach at Kannapolis. He was an assistant coach in Anson County from 1995 to 1997 and also taught biology. He will tell you that Fred Davis gave him his first job at Anson Senior High School, and he constantly, when he tells his biography and his history of his coaching experience, he'll always tell you that he got to start in Anson County. So legendary, perennial powerhouse Kannapolis' head coach, former Butler state championship coach, got his start out in Anson County. Oh yeah, and I think Butler's going to be good. So there's how I tied that one in Anson County. Go ahead.
D.
Yeah, I mean Butler's probably one of the schools always definitely in the Charlotte area that's been more consistent over the years. So, you know, that by far their ranking, and that's pretty much, you know, it speaks for itself, you know.
You sense some
I mean, it's pretty, I mean, you know, the where they're located at again, you know, it's pretty much in the mix area where you're getting a good mix of students, you know. I mean, by far, you know, yeah. I mean, like I said, they always had a good program, even when they first started back in the late 90s when Butler came, maybe 98, 97.
1995 was the first. 1995 was the first year.
Yeah.
From 95 to 97, they were coached by Barry Schufert, former Parkwood head coach Barry Schufert coached them from 95 to 97.
She used to live right behind the school. She lived right.
She was in the apartments right behind
where Butler was at.
With that little golf cart area. You remember that little golf cart area right beside the Pizza Hut?
Yep.
I know where that is.
Yeah.
She used to live there.
Yeah. So that was like I remember that because actually it was being built. Matter of fact, yeah, I remember that was being built when she was staying at little area.
Mm-hmm.
And for the fun fact, the namesake of school, the man David W. Butler, I just want to point out that he died a hero. He died saving his family from a house fire. So I just
Yeah, I heard that somebody told me that one time.
yeah. So the school is named after a heroic man. I just want to point that out as well.
Cool. All right,
There's
let's
a
go.
lot of high school students when I first moved to Charlotte, Circuit City, they went to Butler. So
Okay, Nick, what you say, Nick?
We was on what number 5 or this is number 5? No, number
I
this
have
is
no
my
idea.
Butler.
We didn't kind of left the plot anyway. We just rambling. But go ahead.
Yeah, we're rambling. All right, we'll go to the next one. The next one is them boys down there off 95, Jack Bread.
The Jack Britt Buccaneers.
Yep.
Out of Fayetteville. The most famous person to come out of Jack Britt is Mr. J. Cole himself.
Yep.
Jack Britt will be fine unless they have to play Richmond County. They always find a way to lose to them. They'll beat everybody else they play. Jack Britt will find a way. Jack Britt have handed Richmond County games on a platter. It's just like Richmond will be like, beat us, we're tired. They're like, no, here you go. But as long as they don't have to play Richmond County, they can beat anybody they play.
Yeah, that's one of the like. I guess that is Richmond County's kryptonite because that's like the only team. Like, where did that come from? I mean, they always dominate, but they just. You're right. That's out of one of the teams that do beat Richmond that I know.
But Jack Britt have trouble with Richmond too. It's like
yeah.
That's the point I'm making. I'm like, Jack Britt have choked. They've beaten Richmond County, but they've choked some games against Richmond County too. And I'm like, geez, it's just like how it used to be with Sun Valley and Anson. Sun Valley used to find ways to lose to Anson. I've seen games where it's just like I've been there a couple of games where like Sun Valley just gave us the game. It's just like
here you go. Platter, here you go.
Yeah. And Anson used to do the same thing with Concord. Find a way to give the game to Concord. Like, God, talk about it. But yeah, Britt's always good. And they probably when I think of Fayetteville football schools to come to mind, I think of Britt, I think of Southview, and I think of Douglas Byrd. I always think of those three programs as being right there in championship contention. I'll say it again: Britt, Southview, and Douglas Byrd. They're always right. 71st is good too, but the three, Fountain Forest is good too. But those three are the first three I always think of when I think of Fayetteville football.
Fun fact, we used to play 71st back in the day, a long time ago in the conference too.
Yeah, Anson played 71st in playoff games and stuff back in the day too. Far that go.
Yeah,
the 71st Falcons. First thing you see when you come into Fayetteville.
Yeah, that's what we used to be aligned back in the day.
Yeah.
Ant Harris, I think he's a positions coach at 71st.
Yeah, last time I checked, there was an article in the Anson record about it. Ant Harris, come home, man. We can use you.
Yeah, he just graduated from Florida State too.
Oh man, got his master's.
Yeah, I think he has a master's.
I mean, that's wonderful, man. Especially when I see young men that look like us excelling at a high level in education like that, man. It's beautiful to see. I think anytime you see that, we should cheer them on. We should commend it because that's a representation of us. And when I say us, I'm actually talking about Anson County and a representation of guys who look like us. So with the negative stigmas and stuff that get labeled with guys who look like us, I think it's important that we commend when we have guys breaking the stereotype and guys excelling, especially at a high level school like that. That's even more remarkable. So we should applaud him and be proud how he's representing Anson County well. Hopefully one day he could be in a situation where he would want to come back home and still have the quality of life that accommodates the high level education he has, and hopefully could in his journey he could share some of the things that he's learned throughout this journey and bring those things back home and help us return to dominance.
Absolutely. Top three, fellas, in the top three.
Let's get it.
At number 3, we got these guys from Reedsville.
The Reedsville Rams.
Mm-hmm.
I used to hang out in Reedsville a little bit. Like I said, I hate to say this on here, but the girl that I should have married is from Reedsville. So I spent plenty of time in Reesville. So yeah, I said it. I don't care. So Reesville is a place I've spent plenty of time. I'm very familiar with the Reesville Rams. Powerhouse. All they do is win. I mean, they and I mean go undefeated. A lot of times they go 16-0 and stuff. I mean, it's just dominant program right outside, about 16 miles north of Greensboro, right before you get to the Virginia line. Nothing but athletes there. So if it wouldn't shock me if the 2A championship game is Reesville versus Shelby. That, of course, if Anson County is not involved in it.
Yeah, if Anson County is not involved. Yeah. All right. Number 2. You know who number 2 is? Them boys from Charlotte, Mallard Creek.
They're great.
Yeah.
What more can I say?
That's becoming the premier program in Charlotte by far.
Yep. They're great.
Tony
Tiger. Yeah, they're great. All right, and number 1, another team from Charlotte, Charlotte Catholic.
Catholic shouldn't be number 1 over Mallard Creek, but
I don't think so either. But like I said, whoever made this list.
But hold on. But since we're speaking of Catholic, I think the appropriate thing to do is we lost Jim Otto earlier this year, the former legendary head coach of the Charlotte Catholic Cougars. I think before we get into any discussion about Charlotte Catholic, we need to acknowledge the legacy of the late great coach Jim Otto. Jim Otto won state championships in almost every qualification. I mean, he won back when they used to be in the Rocky River with Forest Hills and all that. He won 2A state championships. He won 3A state championships. He even won a 4A state championship. So before he just retired a few years ago. So before we talk about Charlotte Catholic, we have to acknowledge the reason that program is where it is today is because of the legendary head coach Jim Otto. We lost him earlier this year, I believe, or maybe late last year. And so I just want to pay reverence to the legacy of the late great head coach Jim Otto. Now, Charlotte Catholic is great, but as great as they are, they ain't got no business ahead of Mallard Creek. They ain't got no business. They ain't got no business ahead of Julius Chambers. They ain't got no business ahead of several of those teams. They should be something like 8th or 9th or something like that in that poll.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree with that. Now, I said the person that made this list,
They had to be a Charlotte Catholic alum or something.
I
feel like the last 2 years, Charlotte Catholic didn't even win its conference. Weddington beat the brakes off Charlotte Catholic the last 2 years.
Yep. And they should be high too.
Johnny Manziel?
Yeah.
The money.
Cash rules everything around. Nah, the Charlotte Catholic, they wouldn't do anything like that, man. They're holy anointed people over there. I don't know how in the world out of a poll when you're talking about all the schools in North Carolina with every qualification. Charlotte Catholic is among the best.
Right.
They're one of the best.
Right.
They're in the conversation with the best.
Right.
But I dare not call them the best.
Best. Exactly. Not over Mallard Creek anyway. Right. And not over Julius, I'm sorry.
I couldn't put him over Butler.
Nah, I can't put him over Butler.
I can't either. I wouldn't even put him over Richmond Senior. I mean, but
I was about to go there.
Well, and since we're talking about Catholic schools, where's Cardinal Gibbons on this list? Why is Cardinal Gibbons not on the list? They're a powerhouse Catholic school too.
Exactly, and they ain't even on the list.
Yeah, do they lose everything? But schools like that don't matter who they lose because they just reload. So Cardinal Gibbons, who made this list? Now they grind my gears. Now I'm like, I was just kind of like going through the motions.
Some jackass on Max Preps.
Whoa, man, this is a family show.
I'm sorry.
It's your show, but it's a family show.
I apologize.
Yeah, man. Hey, River Street is looking down listening to this, man.
I apologize. I definitely apologize. But it came out. I apologize.
He'll let it slide this time. He'll let it slide.
You know what? When it comes to lists like this, it doesn't even matter because all of them will be settled in 2 weeks when these teams step on the field.
Yep.
We're gonna find out who the best is on the field. Who does the Catholic play their first game?
That's a good question. I need to look that up.
Speaking of Catholic, I remember one time they got the breaks me off of. I remember they played against Northwestern out of Rock Hill, and Mason Rudolph carved them up like turkey. Like, granted, Mason Rudolph's an NFL quarterback, but still, he carved them up like Thanksgiving turkey.
Oh yeah.
And they couldn't keep up. They tried to hang in there, tried to run the wing key to slow the game down, but Rudolph just he had all day to throw, and he was just picking them apart. But Mason Rudolph.
Let's see what their schedule is this year.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on.
If you see any like intriguing week one matchups, just point them out.
I got
Like, just on general, anybody looking at if there are any notable week one matchups that should be eye popping or attention grabbing.
Let's see. Schedule. Come on, schedule. Dang, they got schedule? Another got schedule. Unresponsive. Hold on. All right, they start the season off with South Mate. They're playing. What do you got?
NC's play South Mate to that. I mean, they'll beat South.
That's Butler, Garinger, Rocky River.
Garinger's not fielding a varsity team this year. Even if they did, they would go 0-10. So I mean, they just not wasting everybody's time. So
Rocky River.
That's a conference game, man. Wait.
That's conference. Yeah, that's conference. Non-conference games. They got Hickory Ridge, non-conference.
That ain't chopped liver. That Harrisburg. That ain't chopped liver at all.
Yeah.
South Lake, that's non-conference.
Yeah, beat them.
Let's see who else on there. Oh, they playing somebody from hold up. I just seen another team from Georgia. Bliss Trinity.
Don't know nothing about them.
They from Roswell, Georgia. And it's a home game on the 10th.
I feel like Catholic could be good. They ain't got to play Whittington because they ain't in that conference anymore.
Nope.
Hickory Ridge and Rocky River ain't going to be easy games.
Oh yeah.
Nah, Butler ain't either. Butler might not be easy for him.
No, they won't be easy for him. They're going to have to play. They're going to have to definitely play. I wonder if they got Frank Garcia back on staff. You know, he had to step down after he had a domestic violence situation.
Yeah. Well, fairly overall, they should honestly win 7 games, in my opinion. At least 7.
I mean, a program like that is going to have a winning season. I'm not questioning that, but I don't think they're going undefeated.
No, they ain't going undefeated. East Meg, that's probably a give me. Garinger's a give me.
Oh yeah.
Independence is a give me.
Garinger's not fielding a team, so I told you, Garinger's decided not to waste everybody's time. They're just not fielding a team this year.
Oh, okay.
They may as well just shut that piece of crap down over there. I don't know how you sweat, but I don't even know what it's doing.
Oh, really? Don't say that. It's a family show, man. It's a family show. You don't sit down the football program. You want to sit down the football program.
Well, they're not fielding varsity. They just need to shut the school down.
Yeah. I'm not
Just
gonna say that.
put it out of his misery. Just shut it down. God.
Shout out to Garinger and all the people that went to Garinger. Shut up, Tyrell.
It's kind of a I'm not gonna say. I'm not even.
Yeah, don't go there.
Yeah. I'm not even gonna say.
We went to Edison High School. It's not like we went to MIT or nothing. So.
Yeah, that was it. I was like,
colleges and shit.
I remember my senior year, they threatened to shut us down.
Yeah, they did.
I tried to do my part to keep us open, though.
The state was coming here to take over.
Man, they came to shut us down, boy. I was joking with Nelson Rusher one time. I said, man, next year, Nelson, I was going ready to go to college. I said, next year, y'all will be walking the streets and stuff, and people going to be like, why y'all not at school? And you're going to be looking up like, oh, we ain't got no school.
Our school's gone. They took it. They closed it down.
Yeah, man, so I'm just walking the streets.
Look, hey, we was on that list of the worst schools in the state as far as with test scores, grade averages, and all that crap. They was getting ready to come in and
State
Take over.
to take over.
And you know what I blame for all of that? I blame a lot of these parents. There are a lot of these parents who are not taking the time to invest in their children, and then want to blame every other outside factor for things. And then when they want to have the proper resources allocated to us, I wonder why we're in the state that we're in, and they want to blame teachers for everything when they ain't doing jack blank. The reason I'm trying to get that my English teacher, Mr. Bean, kind of made a similar statement on his Facebook, and he and I don't necessarily share the same political views, but they're not truths to a lot of things he says. And I shout out to Mr. Bean for listening. Even though we may not agree politically, I still respect you. Some of the things he says, like when he said you had 18 years to raise your children properly. Now, I don't have any children, so someone say it's easy for you to say. But at the same time, when you see what's going on, you could tell that a lot of these people are not invested in their children, and it's not the school's job to raise your kid; it's just their job to educate them.
That's it.
And that's why you see a lot of the downward spiral. But Ralph is put in a tough position. I'm talking Ralph Jackson. He's put in a tough position. My heart goes out for him because he's in a position where it seems like you don't know where the support's coming from. And he's trying, man. All I can say is he's trying. He's trying. He's trying. My heart goes. Sometimes I want to weep for him, man. Sometimes I want to weep all over Wadesboro for him because you can see him trying. And then the thing about it, every time he tries, he gets kicked and knocked down, and it's by people that you would think will be supporting him.
Yeah,
it's like the people, his own people. When I say his own people, I'm talking about fellow Ansonians, people who were want to make that clear what I mean when I say own people. Fellow Ansonians, like. Some things he told me in confidence, so I'm not going to get into. But it's just one of those things where the man is working hard, and it seems like people that you think will be on the side are working against him sometimes. And or I'm not going to say working against him, but not putting 100% effort to help him. And sometimes it seems like he's fighting a one-man battle without a true support system behind him, and my heart goes out for him for it.
I mean, you telling the truth, man. You put the nail on the head there now. And I like you said, whatever you said in confidence. I'm pretty sure I've heard.
Yeah, I'm not getting into anything that he said privately because I don't discuss anything that someone told me one-on-one.
Right. But I believe what you're saying because I've heard stuff, and it's not coming from him, but other people per se say things that, you know, when you look at it, it's just like, yeah, I mean, excuse my French, but some of these people ain't shit. Sorry. I mean, that's just being God honest, man. Especially somebody
being honest.
Yeah, especially somebody out here actually putting forth effort, not charging you a dime to do something and breaking his back. Nah.
Yeah, and he breaks his back for Anson Senior, man, and it's almost like an unrequited love. He loves Anson County.
Yeah.
But sometimes I question if Anson loves him back.
Yeah, I can see that the night we interviewed him, man, the passion that he has for the guys there. I mean, you know,
and that is not for camera. He's like that in person.
Yeah, that's him. That's him.
I can sense that was just true. That he loves his kids, and like they're just like an extended family to him.
Yeah, right.
That play for him. I mean, again, you don't see that quality in a lot of these coaches. They're just there, you know, for a show, but he's really there to help his kids grow. And, you know, we need more people like him, especially in our county where we're from, to show that, you know, I care about you. A lot of these kids don't.
Yeah.
Again, all I ask is, I just want the entire time he's been here, he hasn't had a full deck of cards to play with.
Absolutely.
That's true.
I just want to see him with the full deck. 2019 was the closest he saw to it. I'm not gonna get in. We know what happened in 2019, but
yeah,
and that's what was so heartbreaking about it. And it's like, but he hasn't consistently had a full deck to play with. And this program doesn't even have a booster club.
Nope, they ain't had a booster club in probably almost 10 years.
Exactly. They tried to revive it.
the last year or something was when the late great coach Ed Emery was over the Booster Club after he retired from Richmond Senior. And then after that, I remember some people in the community tried to revive it, but it didn't work out. And it's kind of hard to have a strong program and you don't even have a booster club. And and all of that hurts me, man. There have been times where I just can't imagine what if in my heart of hearts, and he didn't tell me this. This is my gut feeling. This ain't what he signed up for.
No, he didn't.
He didn't sign up for this.
Because I'm pretty sure, in my opinion, what he's seen us before now was nothing like what he's singing now.
You ever heard that song? Y'all go. You know that song, "Pouring Water on a Drowning Man." One song say, "You pushed me when I was falling, you kicked me when I was down." And it's like pouring water. And sometimes it's like they see a man drowning and they're like, "Hey, let's pour some water on him." It's like, come on, man.
I mean, I'm 100% sure that what he's seen of the past, how the program was before he got there, he probably thought that the program was somewhat.
I don't think that he thought it would take this long. I don't think he thought that he was going to have this many outside factors interfering with the progress that he intended to make.
Right. Now that.
And the thing about it, I still want him to stay, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because he put too much work in to go now. I want him to stay. I want him to reap the benefit of the work he put in. Right. I want to see him one day when we walk up to beautiful Chapel Hill, or we walk up to beautiful Raleigh, beautiful Winston-Salem, beautiful Durham. Well, Durham ain't beautiful, but you get my point. Durham ain't beautiful. I'm not gonna tell that lie. Now Durham look like the drizzling, well, blah blah blah. But not Durham. It's just like never mind. But anyway, we go to work. And I want him to hoist the trophy up. I want him to say that it ain't how you start, it's how you finish. I want him to be able to say, look where we came from. Like when I first got here, my first year here, we were 1-10. But look at us now. Now we have something that no one will ever take away from us.
Damn
That's
right.
what I want him. You ever seen the Steve Young monkey off my back clip when the 49ers beat the Chargers in the Super Bowl, where he was like, I finally got the monkey off my back, and then he pretends like he's lifting a monkey off his back. I want Ralph to have that monkey off my back moment.
I think he's gonna get it.
Right now, man, it's just like I want us to have a mini season this year, and I know the expectations are grim. He kind of even alluded to it, not saying that he's not looking to win, but he said we have our work cut out for us. I'll never forget in 2007 when McMahon first got here, and everyone said the same thing, and we ended up going 11-3. So I'm not necessarily saying that's going to happen, but the first thing was like, let's win our season opener. We beat Mountain Island Charter, win our season opener, take it from there. Then we travel to Southern Pines to take on the old school opponent, Pinecrest Patriots. But let's see what happens. I'm about to say, we got 11 guys out there. They got 11. Let's see what happens. If they can get their confidence up, play sound, discipline ball, and string together some wins, why not us? Here's something that bothers me about our fan base and about the culture that's been established now. And it's not Ralph's fault. This is just something that's in the community.
Yep.
Our fan base in our community has gotten to a point to where losing has become acceptable.
It has.
It's getting to the point where people justify losing, they defend losing, they expect losing, and they sit there and try to explain why it's okay. I've gone to games where people are like, well, we don't have they're just kids, and this. I'm like, yeah, everybody has teenagers playing for them. That's high school. We lost a lot of seniors. I say everybody graduates players. We're not the size of Richmond County. No, I can't say it, but of course, I said that's why they're 4A and we're 2A because we're a lot smaller. I said exactly. But the thing about it, losing cannot be acceptable. Losing cannot be justified. I mean, habitually losing, and now what we've created. There's an expectation now that you're that you only win when you have a bunch of seniors. I don't like that. That means you're supposed to be good every 3 years. Like when you got a stacked senior class, and then when you lose them, you're supposed to be sorry again. And this we're rebuilding and stuff. It don't take 10 years to build a building.
And I'm gonna put this out there because I want to say it was funny. Now that you said that, those years that Anson was losing all those games, that you seen how the crowd was actually like the crowd was depleted, so it was like not a packed home game.
Correct.
That 2009 year, 2019 year, there was a lot of packed games after they started winning them conference games. After those conference games, those bleachers got fuller and fuller when he started winning and winning.
Well, yeah, I agree with that. But see, I sat there through some.
Yeah,
Let me tell you what I saw. What I sat through.
I saw most of them.
Yeah, I sat through some stuff that I don't wish nobody had to go through the program. I done sat through a couple of 1 and 10s and sat there and went to the dang on games.
With a D1 player at that.
Yeah, they went 3 and 8 that one. Oh yeah, with a D1 player, Timmy. Shout out to Timmy. Congratulations on your nuptials, young man. Knock him out at Kansas State this year, man. You're an excellent young man. You represent us well, and I'm proud of you, fella. So Tim Horn, shout out to you, man. If you're watching it, nothing but great things to say about you, man. You've always been humble. You've always been cool. Hopefully one day Nick may even get you on the show, man. You're a great young man. You epitomize everything about class, hard work, perseverance, and you're continuing it playing in the Big 12 at Kansas State. And I have nothing but great things to say about you. Again, I'm proud of you. Keep representing us well, young man. I wish you nothing but the best in life. And yeah, we had a D1, and Tim was a D1 player that you're talking about during that time.
Yep. True,
and I'm not even gonna call this person's name, but the person who ran the program into the dirt.
Shut up.
I will never forgive him for that. I will never, ever, I don't care if he's watching this. I will never, ever, ever. The guy on that meme, Isaac Brown, said that guy looked like me, but I don't think so. I will never. There are a lot of people there's several people whose names I'm not going to call, but I'm going to allude to who they are. There's a person who was an authority figure at Anson Senior High School recently, and was an authority figure in dual capacity. Now he's just an authority figure in one capacity. He also, you know who he is, but when he took over his role of authority, he also helped put the program further into the dirt and done nothing to help the program. I'm glad that he's no longer in that particular capacity where he can no longer hurt the program anymore. And I'm not going to get into more detail, but for the way he worked against his own football program, this person, I will never forgive him.
You're talking about the same person, right? I'm pretty sure we are.
Yeah, I don't want to allude to his name because I don't want to cause coach any problems, so I'm not gonna try.
Yeah. But I know you're talking about though. I know exactly.
Yeah. So but this particular individual I'm talking about, this particular individual the way he handled things when he was in his authoritative capacity helped put the program further into the dirt. And I will never forgive him either. Anybody who worked at Anson and worked against the program while working for Anson, I will never, ever, 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 ever have any respect for. Ever. And at least the first person I'm talking about didn't run it into the dirt on purpose. He was just incompetent. So it wasn't deliberate.
Wait.
This particular person here I'm talking about is fully competent.
Very.
And a guy that I used to think well of. A guy that he was successful when with his particular previous role, was here twice with us, left and came back home and was successful again. And then the way he works against his own program, not only the way he works against his own program, but the negative stigma that he even has for his own people. And I don't mean Ansonians when I say that. A man that deliberately works against his own people because he forgot where he came from. He came from nothing. And then when I got $1 or $2, want to forget where he came from. And then help fight against the program. So if you're watching this, you know exactly who you are, and I do not respect you. And I'm glad you're no longer in the authoritative capacity that you're in. And as far as I'm concerned, you can leave and never come back.
You heard that? Don't come back, Jack. Hit the road, Jack. And don't you come back for
Because
more.
you know who you are. Not only did you betray your alma mater, you also betrayed your own people.
I know.
And you betrayed your own people. And when you turn your back on your own to appease, never mind, I ain't gonna get into who he's appeasing. But here's the thing: remember, at the end of the day, when you find out that some of the folks that you were trying to appease don't give a you know what about you, don't try to come back home trying to get back in because we don't like you out.
He definitely did that, but it didn't pay off that much though. So
Nah,
it didn't pay off.
nah,
Hey, motherfucker, give me language.
nah.
Oh.
But hopefully, now that he's no longer in that authoritative position, we will rise again.
We will.
Good riddance.
We will. And the sad part is, had the ultimate support, probably, high praise, high chief, however you want to call it.
Hey,
I'm like you. Don't come back.
Hey, it looked like I was cutting the promo when the lighting got dark like this.
Yeah.
Like on the rest of the show.
Final word. Like,
hold on. Let me do it. Let me get a little dark. Hold on. At WrestleMania, in front of 80,000 fans, you meet your destiny.
Tell him again.
And I will become the heavyweight champion of the world. Does that cut the wrestling promo dark lighted like I might be Aleister Black or something? I'm Malachi Black now. Is his name.
But that particular person, you're right. I can't. There ain't no argument with that.
No respect at all for him. Zero.
I got an idea of who y'all talking about.
Don't call his name. I don't.
No, I'm not gonna call his name. I'm not. It's either one or two.
It's only one.
I mean,
one and only.
Can't clone him.
Yeah, the one and only. You know.
You know who it is. I'm talking to you. Nah, you know who you are.
Anyway, I got Rich McConnell's schedule.
and I give a blank because. I mean, you can read it. Read it, as the preachers say. Read it.
Starting off with Butler.
That's a 50-50 game.
Cardinal Gibbons.
I guess they'll be Cardinal Gibbons, but Cardinal Gibbons ain't chopped liver.
Southview
ain't chopped liver either. I think they'll beat them, but that ain't chopped liver.
Starting that conference, Southern League.
They'll beat them.
Pinecrest. That might be a
Pinecrest
took them 1 year. They lost that thing, but they ran a score on them.
Pinecrest beat them about 3 years ago, but
okay.
But they'll beat Pinecrest.
Oak County.
They'll beat them.
Union Pines.
Blowout.
Lee County.
Competitive for 3 quarters, but they'll pull away. Richard City pull away. Blowout. They'll go 10-0 and 9-1. They might lose to Butler or beat them like in a knockdown drag out fight. The Butler game, that'll go down to the wire. That'll be one of them 35-31 games where we just Daryl's like, he didn't know what I'm talking about.
You know who.
We
all do.
We know who you are. You're not welcome here anymore. You left one time before when you were in a different position. Leave again, and this time don't come back.
Wait, how many times he leave? Yeah, he did. Yeah, I got it.
Yeah, but don't come back this time.
Yeah,
your turncoat.
Sad party. Yeah, it's a shame. You're right. Man, it's a shame.
I was just I'm just trying to wrap my mind around it. But
yeah, I think he even knows. I'm talking about the man that we're talking about. I think he knows that he's no longer wanted. I think he knows that the people
don't respect him anymore. He knows that you let an entire county of people down. You let your whole county of people down. You let a whole school down. You let a bunch of boys down. You let your people who even look like you. You let them down. Everyone who had faith in you, you let them down. You let them all down. Yeah, you let them all. I hope you sleep well at night because you ain't got one friend left. The only friend you got left is the devil.
Listen, man,
and a whole bunch of people in Rockingham.
That's it.
But you ain't welcome here. So take your hat. This old cheerleader said back in the day, take your hat and coat and leave, and I can't say the rest.
It's okay. I think kids watching.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. I hope Anson football gets back to that dominant, and the coach that they got can get them there. It's like you said, it's just
gotta give him something to work with. Then
exactly.
This man has been stripped, and every resource that he needs to be successful has either been taken from him or people within the county or people who you would think will be his allies have made it difficult.
And it was something we talked about too, and that was like behind cameras. But when I heard he told me some stuff, and no, I'm not gonna say that, but the stuff that he told me, and now the way that the message when I read it, it was like, how the hell do y'all not? Where's the love? That's how I'm gonna say. Where's the love? Because it ain't no way that this man,
there's this thing called jealousy. Jealousy is a dangerous, dangerous, dangerous drug.
It is very, very. Wait, so I can hear you. Yeah, microphone.
Yeah. Let's get a little controversial for a second. When it comes to social things,
yeah, it's still low.
Yeah, I can hear you. It's still a little low. It came back a little bit. I think it's I don't know. It was there. Nah, it still sound the same now. But I can hear you. I can understand. Just
And then when I had to put on my numerous counseling JBL headphones.
Put that promo again. That JBL promo again.
Yeah, that JBL promo, man. Shout out to JBL. I'm pretty sure.
This song was brought to you by JBL Numerous Counseling Headphones.
Come on, JBL.
This Crown Jewel moment was brought to you by Firm Jewelers. This Tuntel is brought to you by Ladybug Family Restaurant.
Get you a meeting too for $8.99.
I forgot what I was getting ready to say now.
Yeah, controversially.
Oh, social things.
There you go.
We love to talk about who's holding us back, who's trying to keep us from getting nowhere, and when lots of times our biggest enemy is within our own circle.
Yeah.
I'm doing like the Martin Luther King pose now. And then kind of look like I'm looking up. Hold up. I can't do it right now. Dang, I had it. Hold on. There we go. Sometimes our biggest enemy is within our own circle. There it is. That's the Martin Luther King right there. Yeah. Sometimes our biggest enemy is within our own circle. There it is. There it is. Man, I got to do this. I got to get a pic like this as Martin Luther King pose.
Martin.
All I need is a suit. Look like this.
I need a mouth one with the name.
Hey, and put it on a church fan, and you got something.
He's in church, man. It is like the car. It's in the band.
Yeah, you got something there.
Go to Smith Funeral Home and get some fans with that on there.
Like, that's hot. Let me get one of them Martin Luther King fans.
Now it'd be funny if you find some of them in Levitt. I'd be like, oh wow. Like, you talking about inclusive.
Firm action.
Oh man,
my God.
we just be all over the place, but I love it. I love it.
Here's another promo game.
Would be what we call it.
Hey,
Yeah, it would be controversial, baby.
I'm gonna cut a promo against Pinecrest.
Go ahead, cut it.
Yeah, since I got the lighting like on it. Pinecrest Patriots on August the 27th.
Uh-oh.
Be prepared.
Uh-oh.
To be met by a sea of orange.
Yeah.
This sea of orange is going to be so high, you won't be able to climb over it. It's going to be so low, you won't be able to go under it. It's going to be so wide, you can't go around it. And be prepared at the end of the fourth quarter, when the clock reads 000, to be met with defeat to none other than the innocent senior Bearcats. All right, that's enough. All right, Nick, I'm done. All right, Nick, where you at?
We still here?
Yeah, I'm waiting on you to be through. I'm getting ready to leave. You ain't gonna separate us back out again.
Oh no, it froze up. Something happened. I think StreamYard froze up. Yeah, StreamYard froze up.
That's why Daryl said T got so mad he went into robo mode. So I got to sound like a robot in my promos.
Nah, it's when your whatever happens to the mic kept making you sound like Kanye West.
Yeah, but
shout out to the Donda album.
Man, Kanye, I haven't been excited. I'm not excited for this album. I haven't been excited for Kanye West probably over 10 years. I'm not excited today. It's one of those things to where it's like he lost it and never got it back.
Let me tell you something. When that man spent the night at the Mercedes-Benz Dome for a concert for 2 weeks, you know he crazy.
Spent some money too.
Yeah, spent some money.
Hey,
$60 chicken tender plates. He had a whole bed in a locker room.
He was in
with 3 pairs of shoes and a SWAT outfit.
I mean, like he was in a college dormitory.
Yeah,
going back.
He brought the bed on the set when they did the show. He brought the bed out there, and he just sits there and does random stuff while they play the songs. Like when he had
No, by the way, mental health is a very serious thing that we should never make light of or make fun of. There are many people and people that we know, people that we don't know, who battle challenges in mental health, and it's something that should be taken very seriously. So I don't want to make light of any kind of mental. I'm gonna get on that in a minute, but don't want to make light of part of it. I saw that too. My OG talking about so he ain't going to LA because he knows the killers might be.
Listen, man. We're gonna talk about that in a second. Go ahead, do your thing, cause I just want your opinion on that too.
I mean, it's kind of on the same page as that, but again, I'm gonna let you finish because that right there.
No, this guy knows he's searching for the real killer.
He's afraid, man. We got to find these killers. They out here somewhere.
I'm like, hey, you know them things like at the fair that you go to, the mirror thing where you see like a bunch of your, you know what I'm talking about? That too. But you know what I'm talking about? The things with the mirrors, all the mirrors in it where you can't tell where the person's at. When you go to them, he can find the killers in that thing right there.
Yeah, he can find a whole bunch of them in there. To be one person.
Hey, look, if somebody really did do it, they'd probably dead by now. That was 27 years ago.
Yeah.
Listen, my Monday episode, man. When I said the 2 stories that I did Monday, and when I sing that one and I sing this one,
Oh no. Y'all been heard about that one. Hold up. Dropped R. Kelly won't charge drop alleged explosion partner. Yeah, even in the surviving R. Kelly thing, I heard about the little Usher thing. I know this don't have nothing to do with Usher, but still, and that's not funny either. But I'm just saying. But I was aware. I also was seeing stuff where they were saying about some of his alleged victims may have been boys, and so I
seen that too.
I was like, oh man, he
stealing all kind of candy.
Yeah, man, he got a good battle. He better get
he ain't getting up there. He down.
He need to get Sean Watson's lawyer. Nah, and by the way, sexual assault and sexual abuse is something that's very serious that we shouldn't laugh at. And and like with the Deshaun Watson situation, don't know all the facts, don't know what did or didn't happen, but I think anytime there are allegations of sexual assault, sexual harassment, or sexual abuse, I think those allegations need to be taken very seriously and need to be thoroughly investigated so we can get to truth and find out what happened. And if something inappropriate happened, then accountability needs to be held. So that's something that should be looked at very seriously.
My thing with his situation, though, Deshaun's is more like they ain't got people that's willing to testify. So I feel like his is more for people trying to get money.
And that may very well be the case. That's why you investigate so we can find out if that's the case or not. Nevertheless, you have to take it seriously because something like that, you're talking about the risk that's involved with that, and the climate that we're in now, that's a hot button issue. Whether it's a hot button issue or not, is serious and needs to be taken seriously. So I'm not saying that he's guilty of anything. I'm not saying he's innocent of anything. What I'm saying is that the situation needs to be thoroughly investigated. So if he did anything inappropriate, he needs to be held accountable. If it's determined that he didn't do anything inappropriate, then his name could be cleared. And nevertheless, the situation needs to be gotten to the bottom of so the appropriate action can take place, whether it's clearing his name or whether it's holding him accountable.
I agree. But, now the R. Kelly thing. That's
even with that, he's gonna have his day in court, and when in court, both sides will be able to present their evidence, and the jury will review the evidence and determine innocence or guilt.
Yeah,
and I think at this point, let's see what happens, and once the judgment is rendered, then we'll know where this conversation needs to steer.
Yeah, you're right about that, man. But the OJ
thing, one thing about it, when it comes talking about stuff like people sexual harassment, assault and stuff, somebody, you ain't gonna get me to say nothing stupid.
Yeah, no, not here. No,
you ain't get me to say nothing stupid.
we may be controversial, but we ain't stupid.
I ain't stupid. You don't joke stuff about. That ain't something to joke about.
No, it's not. But OJ Simpson, yeah, I could joke about that all day.
Hey, whatever happened to OJ Juice Man?
OJ who?
You know OJ Juice Man. Hey, okay,
he's somewhere in Atlanta.
Somewhere in Atlanta.
Hey,
ain't on a house on the hill.
Nah,
Buckhead.
Think you're in the park now.
Buckhead is turning wild.
So who?
Buckhead, Atlanta, like the sport.
Yeah. I heard Buckhead.
That's a wild area now.
So only time I go to Atlanta, I got downtown, man. I always like stay at the Hyatt on Peachtree, man. I go to old school Saturday parties and stuff down there. So I mean, I'd be right there in the middle of town. Shout out to the Hyatt. Shout out to Hyatt on Peachtree, man. So man, I ain't staying no dang on Econo Lodge out there in the wrong side of town.
I always stay at I stay at the Holiday Inn on Peachtree when I go downtown.
There's like 100 different Peachtree.
But Buckhead, we stayed at the Intercontinental, like right in the center of Buckhead.
The Intercontinental, like Intercontinental champion.
Yeah.
And your new Intercontinental champion.
But I think this year we go down there in October. We staying over there by the airport.
I was supposed to be going down there.
Southwest Atlanta.
Yeah.
I was supposed to be going down there in September, but I don't know if they're gonna have the party that I was gonna go to. But they canceled the one in August because of and I'm not even
because of the pandemic concerns, and I'm not even gonna get into conversation about pandemic, but and it's unknown what they're gonna do in September. So if they throw it in October or whatever, I'll go there in October because I hadn't hit Atlanta up since like 18, man. I don't mind hitting Atlanta up, but I always like to stay uptown, and then that way it's everything major is scary.
Because we're going to the music festival down there in the Centennial Park. That's a 2-day event.
Word.
We usually go every year. It used to be in September, but they didn't have it last year because of COVID, and then
Maybe
they moved it down this year.
Maybe y'all can go by this place is really magical this time there.
Oh yeah, we passed that coming in.
Fish tailing
Uncle
out the
Wayne.
parking lot, leaving, man. I remember I went there last time I was there. My first time ever going there, man. It's like, man, it's different.
Yeah,
It's different in a good way.
The wings. Yeah, the wings.
I didn't eat no food. Like, I want
Look, they say that people go to Mad City for the wings
That's all. I mean, I know people say that.
and the thigh breast. So. But they do serve wings.
Wangs, man.
They serve wings. They definitely serve wings.
Lemon peppers.
I mean, I like lemon pepper wings just as much as the next man, but I wasn't hungry.
Yeah.
I wasn't hungry. It was nice, man. It was real different. It was unique.
I'm planning on going to the. I think when I go down there, I'm trying to see if I get tickets to go to the College Hall of Fame thing right there. It's actually right there by Centennial Park.
It's cool, man.
I want to do that, and then I think SneakerCon is down in the same weekend, so I might be doing that too. So I'll be all over Atlanta. Just
Daryl, what Daryl know about that, man? Daryl's a good old boy.
Magic.
It's magic.
Them wings are good though.
Oh, it's magic. You know.
Shout out to Lemon. I'm about to say Lemon Pepper Lou.
Lemon Pepper Lou.
Y'all know who Lemon Pepper Lou is.
I don't know who he is, Nick. I don't know him from Can of Paint.
Lou Williams?
The basketball player? Oh, when he was down in the bubble and he almost got
Oh, yeah. He was going to see a family member. He got hungry and they say he went to Magic City. Got some wings.
That's what I'm like. Come on, man. You got hungry. You went to, man, the parking costs too much. Just go there to get wings.
Get 3-piece wings, breast, and thigh.
Yeah, I know he got the last 2 pieces.
Breast and thigh. Dark meat or white meat?
Somebody he went there for the wings. Some line joke. That was completely irresponsible by Lou.
Do people really go to Magic City for wings?
You can't even see my face in there.
I can about tell how you look.
Yeah, he's in there. I see him.
I see him. Yeah, he probably was like.
Yeah, that's exactly how I like it.
Darren got the halo.
Yeah, man, I know Daryl, man. I know Daryl's family. I know the whole family of them Ledbetters. They all good people. I know Tony Ledbetter. I know Gil Ledbetter. I know Daryl Ledbetter. I know Reverend Ledbetter. By the way, Daryl, shout out to your parents on their wedding anniversary, man. I think I said it last week too, but I'll say it again. Beautiful couple, great Christian couple, epitome of what holy matrimony looks like. So, and I'm gonna tell you something about Reverend Ledbetter while I'm at it. Great man. My grandfather was terminally ill. He would come by the house and pray with him and everything. That's what kind of man Reverend Ledbetter is. So, I always respect your father just because not only is he a great preacher, but I honestly, in my heart of hearts, I'm not around him 24/7, but from everything I've seen, Reverend Anthony Ledbetter lives what he preaches.
Yep. Did we go? No, you didn't go with us that night. Never mind. Shut up. We went to no, they went to Onyx. I went home.
I've never been to Onyx. I've been in the parking lot, but that's about it.
I've been in the parking lot. I've been in the front door.
I've been in the back door too.
Yeah, no, I ain't been in the back though.
Have you ever been to this place called Starvello's down in Richburg, South Carolina? They be advertising on Power 98.
No.
You like Richburg ain't far. Just down below right here, like 12 miles south of right here. You know.
No.
I think Starvello's wouldn't be your speed, no way. There's nothing magical about it.
Is it one of those? Is it Platinum Diamonds type?
You remember Young Jesus' old nickname?
Yep.
Yeah, yeah. The facility is nice, but I'm just talking about the what you
The
see
workers.
in the workers. Yeah.
In the words of my boy Exhibit, what you see is what you get.
Yeah, they play good music. I give them that. And the woman remodeled the place, Starbella, the actual Starbella herself. She reminds me of like one of those Vegas mobsters type thing. But anyway, one of the women that's in the mob type. She kind of come off like that. Not insinuating that she is, but
So,
she's got that cool accent. Like she talks like she one of them boss women that's rich type thing.
so is it a lot of cesarean sections and stab wounds, or is just
I don't know because they're dang near empty. So I can't really. It won't hardly a bunch of anything, but the little bit that was there was like Jesus, the snowman. Get it?
yeah?
Yeah.
Listen, you tell Gilbert to go.
Man,
Gilbert to go.
hey, Gil, I love you, man, but I ain't got enough to you take too long to get ready. You always leave the house late, and then even when you get it done, you take your sweet time to get where we're supposed to meet at. So, I mean, and that's Darren's brother. Reason Darren know it.
There, man.
Man, you can tell Gil be at my house at 8 o'clock. You call Gil at 8 o'clock. Hey, I'm on my way. Where you at? I'm still in Burnsville. I'm like, good God in heaven, man. You supposed to be here by now.
You remember the night we went to Dave and Buster's, and Gil was like, "I'll be there in a little bit." And I don't think Gilbert got there about like 9 o'clock, maybe 10 o'clock.
Worse. I remember that time me and Mike came in from Phoenix about 3-4 months ago. And Gil was supposed to meet us, man. And we waiting around on him. And that joker never got he eventually came down with the audience. And they're going to ask you want to be in my audience. I told Mike, I said, I ain't nowhere. I said, get your Uber or something down there. That's your business. I said, I'm not trying down there. We told him we were going to be in to meet us. And then he's going to take his sweet time. Give him 3 hours late. And he's going to be in my audience. And he's not talking nowhere. I said, Mike, I like you want to see him tonight. I'm not going to get you tonight. I said, so we need to start getting on that.
The only time me and Gilbert made it somewhere together is I had to drive, and that was that I think he was out of town. We went to the preseason game. Carolina played New England. It's been about 3 years ago.
He got there in a decent hour. He was there on time.
We got that 1 year earlier. Remember, we all went to we was in downtown with the Hooters. That 1 year. Yeah.
You got some more consistency. We need more points and consistency out of him. And he can string it together for a string of events. It's like a quarterback. He can just be consistent and just string it together for a string of events. I think that he could be a great person to socialize with. But until he shows more consistency, I ain't got nothing. Was he with y'all that night? Y'all went to see Kenneth Crawford at the Command Sports Arena?
I didn't go.
Oh, I don't know why I didn't go either.
I didn't go.
Mike,
that was him and Mike.
He took forever to that shit. I don't even know Kenneth, man. He just seen him on NXT at the time.
Nah, that was like a house show. Whatever.
Yeah, I know it was an NXT house show, but just before they got to the main roster. I'm like, yeah. I don't even know Kenneth because we actually went to school with Kenneth Gills in Western Carolina with Kenneth fans.
I went out with Casey. Casey. We went to school with
I know we went to school. He just took
yeah. And then I went out a couple times with Ken. I went out with him, man, and Sam Cole. We went out to Charlotte a couple times.
So I remember when Casey and Orson and Servant used to be real tight, and back when we were in school. I remember Ken the Crawford. He was like a skinny kid. Like I'm gonna tell you, last time I saw Ken the Crawford was like 2008. Last time I talked to him face to face. Me and him he was in this talent show down in Florida school when I was in the World Tour contest, and we were in practice. And
I talked to him for a good while then, but that was like my senior year in high school. He was like sophomore. And after I graduated high school, I didn't see him anymore. He went off to the after he graduated, he went off to the
With the
Marines.
Marines, yeah.
Next time I saw him was on an episode of Monday Night Raw.
I seen him after he left for the Marines. I seen him one time before then, and then he came home. I think it was 2011, and we went to Charlotte that night. Because I seen him that was at People Fest. I seen him, I seen Man, and Sam Cole. That's what I was like, let's go out. And I was like, okay,
Calvin?
Yeah, Calvin Watson.
Yeah. I used to text Calvin during football season when East Carolina had good teams and stuff. I lost his number. So, Calvin Watson, if you listen, man, hit me up. We still got my number.
Still the same number. Number ain't changed.
It's like in my old phone, like 2 phones ago. So,
I think I'll give it to you. I got it.
just tell Calvin, I don't, it's been so long. I ain't texted Calvin in like 8 years. So, I used to see him at the barbershop. I used to go to his house to get my haircut sometimes.
Yeah.
Nah, but it was funny, man. About 2 years ago, Kenneth was at folks. For folks who don't know who we're talking about Montez Ford, one half of Street Profits, but and it's County, Kenneth Crawford, Casey Crawford. We ain't doing the Montez stuff right here. He was at the little WrestleMania Access thing and like doing a live thing, on IG. And I was just joking around, so I just typed in. I said, "It's County in the building." I didn't even because I don't have my real name on the joke on my IG. And so then he looked at it, he was like, "Tyron, what up?" And man, I almost started acting like a groupie, man. I've been knowing that. It's like, then I called myself and I was like, "Oh man, come on, I knew this kid we were in school, man. I'm like, no way, acting like a groupie." I know No Way Jose. You remember No Way Jose? They used to be on Monday Night Raw.
Yep.
Yeah, I know him too. I went to UC Charlotte with him. I used to, I've like chill. I haven't seen him in a long time, but like, I knew him and chill with him because he used to work with my ex, and I like chill with him, had a couple drinks with him before. But he was like, I never knew he was always tall and big, but I never thought that he was the guy that was going to be a WWE superstar. But
nah, I didn't think that either.
Yeah, his real name is Levis, because I know him as Levis. I hadn't seen Levis in like a decade. He's a UNC Charlotte graduate as well. He graduated the year before I did. So there was at one point when WWE had 2 guys that I actually knew. One I went to high school with, one I went to college with. So, but of course, Levis, No Way Jose, no longer with the World Wrestling Entertainment. But man, we're rambling all night long, man. I'm looking at the time, whatever.
We had the 2 hour and 21 minute mark going on 2:22. Gonna get these closing remarks. I'm gonna start it from the right to the left. However you're looking at it from your screen. Start with T Harden. The floor is yours.
All right, let me get back in the light.
Let's get to the light.
Let's see. Again, folks, I always like to keep things on a positive level here. So I'm going to keep this on a positive light. There's a lot going on right now. A lot of angst and fear and stuff amongst our society. But let us remember, no matter how much angst and fear there is, maybe some of it's legit, maybe some of it's not. But at the end of the day, the final story and the end of the story is in someone else's hands, someone who's bigger than us. So remember, the person who has the final say-so, the same person who brought us through many other things before, is the same person who's going to bring us through this. Like I tell people all the time, we're going to have a story to tell. And it's going to be a story about how we overcame, how we were victorious. This is not the first time we've had adversity. It's not the first time our society had adversity as well. I compare it to the prophet Ezekiel when he was in the Valley of the Dry Bones. And right now, sometimes it feels like we're in a Valley of Dry Bones. We're looking at our society is in peril. There are even people who have their doubt in their own God and wondering where do we go here. They're metaphorically looking at what's surrounding them and wondering, can those bones live? And the reply that was given to him was, "Son of man, prophesy." So at this point, I think this is the point where our faith needs to be the strongest. The point where we're in the most turmoil, the point where there's the most doubt surrounding us, the point where there's the most fear surrounding us. This is the point where our faith needs to be the strongest. The reason I say that is because it's easy to have faith when everything's on schedule. It's easy to have faith when you got an account full of money, everything is going well, you got your health strength, and everything is going perfectly fine. But can you have faith when you're on a 3rd and 20, when you're down by 2 touchdowns late in the 4th quarter? Right now, we're in a situation where we're down
and down in distance and down on the scoreboard. But that's where you have to have your faith. So at this point, it shouldn't be, oh, what are we going to do now? It should be, let us keep our faith strong. Let us also use our common sense that he gave us. And then when this is all said and done, we can sit here and tell our story of victory. That's all, folks.
All right. D-Rome, you got the floor, big dog.
Again, another wonderful show, another wonderful day, another wonderful podcast. Just like to say, as always, love one another, thankful, stay blessed. Good night, everyone.
And I'm gonna close it on now. I'm gonna say this. I live in a world of chaos where my leaders are lost as the followers that we are. Never know what tomorrow's gonna bring. You got a pandemic. You got a justice problem. You got more problems than you got solutions. So, the only thing I can say is, man, when you go to bed at night, pray, hug your loved ones, and enjoy your day, man, because you never know how many of these days we're gonna get living in the society that we live in now. But be thankful for the ones that you got, and pray for the ones that you can get. So I'm gonna leave it with that. So y'all, it's been good. It's been real. We'll be back next week. Us, new topic, new whatever. But you know how we do. You know how we do.
Yes, sir. All right, man. Y'all be cool.
All right.
That's
night, everybody. Thank y'all for coming in, and we'll see y'all next week.
All right.
Salute.
Likewise.